thought I wasn't allowed to have this.
This is super random, but somebody said when Pokemon Go came out, everyone went outside, walked more, and exercised more. I don't really know about the exercise part, but I guess being outside and walking is exercise in itself. When Pokemon Sleep came out, it helped people sleep. Hey Nintendo, I have an idea we can help with the declining birth rates. uh,
What is Pokemon Sleep?
um, I think it's just like an app that you hear Pokemon noises when you as you want to sleep.
Are you
I'm,
kidding me right now? That's
Mhm.
actually a thing.
I'm not really
I
sure.
don't
To
know.
be
I
honest,
the guy
kind
who
of wish
listens to fans.
I'm actually not 100%
No,
sure what's
no,
going
no,
on.
no, 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 no. That's completely different.
No, I
I think
could
that's
I
It is
could
an
see
it is
it
an
though.
official Pokemon
Put
app
a
that
put
helps you
a
sleep.
a Jigglypuff with the thing, with the little
Oh, the
bubble
Jigglypuff
come
song?
on.
in the song. Yeah, no, I could see it.
There's
Yeah.
no one that is actually sleeping to the freaking Jigglypuff
I
song.
could
Like,
see
come
it.
The
on,
I
Jigglypuff
could see it.
song.
bro.
Or even just a Charmander, and you see the tail. There's a little flame burning on the tail, and you just chilling,
Y'all
watching.
cannot be dead ass right now.
I could see it.
It's
I don't
literally
I
know
mean,
what
it
the
literally
backstory
I
is.
think it'd be like it kind of makes sense. It's just like an app idea as something little cool, but to help someone sleep, no, no, no.
it's
Why not?
official Pokemon Game Freak app.
Helps you chill out before you sleep.
God, if someone is actually listening to Pokemon sounds to help them go to sleep, I got a problem
You
with
have
that.
no space to talk, literally.
You have a problem?
No, a fan sounds are nothing compared to that. It's literally scientifically proven to be at a certain the decibel or hertz or whatever that helps you go to sleep. Pokemon sounds, come on, dog.
In any case, it came out in 2025.
It's relatively recent. It might be 2025 or 2024, one of the two.
A Snorlax. Come on. I could
You
see it.
telling me you want to hear another being snore to help you go to sleep? Come on, bro. What are we talking about?
Softly, of course. It's not intense.
You're telling me that you have once in your life heard someone else snore softly or loudly, and it's helped you go to sleep, and it
No, but like
hasn't been annoying to
animals,
A
you
you?
women,
never heard
yes.
a cat or a
Yeah,
dog
real
just
animals.
breathing
Re-
a little bit heavy. You could hear the. It's kind of a snore, but
yeah,
it's not really a snore. Yeah,
for
that type of
one,
thing.
I mean, I most certainly do not want to hear another animal breathing. And for two, bro, it's different. We're talking about a cat versus a Snorlax, bro.
I could see it. I don't know why you're so
I can't believe we're
adamant.
arguing.
I'm not saying I want to do it, but I'm just saying I could see it. It's not that crazy.
I can't see it.
Okay, audio
I really
checks.
never
Ace.
heard this. Nice.
Check, check, check. How do I sound? Too loud, too quiet, too echoey,
No, you sound
too
fine.
anything.
You look like you're cold, but we're in the Northeast.
About to put on another coat.
Ghost.
Check, 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 check.
Yep, sound fine. Can't verify my location. Doesn't matter. Wes.
Check, check. 1, 2, 3. Check, check.
Yep, you sound fine as well. And then how about myself? Is the volume at acceptable level and coming in loud and clear?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So let's start recording and let's get to it. And then hopefully if I just go here, it will be the right screen. Nope, it's not the right screen. Nope, that's still not the right screen. There we are. Everybody look alive, just like Block Boy. Also, Ace, when you get a second, check the stream. Make sure it looks all right and sounds all right.
Yep.
All right. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, everyone. We're back. Welcome back to the B1 B Phil podcast. We actually, on this beautiful day, have everyone here. We have all the bros, the guys, the crew. We got Ace.
So
We got Ghost.
Yo,
We got Wes.
Hey,
And we have myself, QuestLando. Guys, how we all doing? How we all feeling?
pretty good.
feeling good.
decent.
And I myself am feeling pretty fine and just glad to be alive. So, this technically is our first podcast of 2026. But I caught myself. I was about to say we're throwing it back. But before we really start speaking on all the topics and stories that are coming out of 2026, we have to do our end of the year podcast. Yes, we know it's a bit late, or we're a bit late. End of the year podcast where we review all the major events, all this interesting stories. Just kind of give a nice summary of the year in total. We do this every year, and we also go through our own personal favorites, including movies, shows, albums. We'll pull up the list in a bit, and we'll go through all those categories, as well as our favorite moments of the year, our not so favorite moments of the year, and just in general, what, if anything, we've learned, amassed, gained, lost, so on and so forth. So at this point, we're kind of got it down to structured, organized, structured podcast, but there might be some things that we implement or talk about that we haven't in the past. But unless there is anything to mention before we start, we can just jump right into it. Typically, I would go through all that podcast intro stuff with like music, but there's no song selections of the week. Although, like usual, waiting for everyone to go to our channel and go to the videos tab to check out our topic videos. Definitely would recommend people check those out because I was listening to a 2 hour plus podcast can be kind of aggy. And yeah, I think that's the really only major or thing that comes to mind pertaining our actual channel. So, I feel as if usually people would like give a summary like a speech for 2025. I don't think I thought of that, and that's kind of corny in this particular juncture. But I mean, one, we're all alive, so by definition, 2025 was a W, and yeah, I mean, nobody's homeless, and so that's also W. But there were some crazy things that happened outside of our respective lives, um, and there are a couple of articles in pages that we look at to remind ourselves all of the the good, the bad, the ugly that happens throughout the year. Because obviously in this day and age, so much happens, so much stuff happens throughout the year. Even this year just started, and there's already one of the most craziest international geopolitical stories I've seen in my life. Although this kind of did happen once in the Middle East, but that's neither here nor there. We'll get into all of that at a later podcast, even though we're not a politics podcast, so we probably won't actually get into the details. But I think one easy way to start off is we can look at any a major events page that we have. Let me just pull it up. Ghost, I dropped the link in the Discord. Can you pull that up if possible?
Let's see. Oh,
Scroll to the top. Or is that the top? No, scroll. That's not the top.
I don't know why it defaults it to down there. All right.
Okay, I think we're already seeing a bit of lag, but bear with us. I wonder if I could bring something down to stop that lag. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're here just for the ride, not for the quality. Okay, so let me go here. I think I knocked that up again. I actually want to be here. Okay, so blow it up, Ghost.
Uh,
So there's probably even more well produced events page. Probably some news publication has it, but I just bumped into this one. It seems like it kind of captures a lot of the big moments. If anyone has any pages, obviously you can probably just go to Reddit, and Reddit probably has the biggest source of like all the moments that people should remember that happened in 2025. But this, I think, will do the job. I think this comes from thehistory.com, historychannel.com, whichever one it classifies these days. So let's just kind of go through it and see if y'all remember these ones, these events. See if 2025 was as crazy as you remember, or if it was actually really relatively tame in the grand scheme of things. Scroll down. We'll just go past the table of contents and get right to it. So, if y'all recall, in the at the beginning of 2025, we had just already starting off on negatives. There were literal terroristic attacks in New Orleans. And there was, oh yeah, in the early 75, that's when they were having all those massive fires in California, which is kind of crazy. California and the West Coast in general, they have like a fire season, if I'm not mistaken. Is that true? It's kind of crazy how like when you, like I know like there are some places in like the South and like the South Coast that have like hurricane seasons, but that seems like natural. Like when you have a, and obviously no, it's not necessarily there's going to be a fire during the season. Just like the conditions on the land are more likely that a fire will happen and spread, but that's still pretty wild. Um, yeah, a lot of people lost their homes during that time, but you know, cool to everybody that made it out. That keep going. I think there's some positive and or just neutral. TikTok. Oh yeah, TikTok was about to get banned this year, but that never actually happened because TikTok is Chinese owned. Does anyone have the TikTok app? Wasn't there like a day where like if you had the TikTok app, like you couldn't open it or something like that?
Yeah, I thought it temporarily did get banned.
yeah, it was for about
Or
like
is
a half
blocked.
a day, I think.
Yeah, something like this.
That's so crazy that TikTok had so much motion that even though it was should have been banned, they just said, "Oh, well, let's hold on to it."
Actually,
Uh,
I do have the app. That's funny. And my wife, she has the app, and hers didn't get blocked because it's French or whatever. And
Oh,
mine actually did. It
exactly.
was kind of funny. That is what happened.
huh.
That makes sense. Um, uh, the Trump administration came into office, officially being inaugurated this year, and they right off the bat started off with that Doge organization. Salute to Elon. He came in and started trying to, you know, do
Do
good
not salute Elon for that.
by getting rid of the waste and fraud, but in a lot of people's humble opinion, it kind of flopped and just really just resulted in a bunch of federal workers being fired. But then rehired when they realized you can't just go around firing people. Although, as a person that does work somewhat tangentially with the government, it was definitely kind of weird hearing like a lot of people. Not it's not a lot of people, but some people that I know and or have worked with, they were like getting like packages to basically I don't know if it's a service package, but like packages to like if you do choose to leave, they would give you like a that leaving package. So that definitely had some real world implications. I mean, obviously people were mad, people getting fired. Keep going. I don't remember that incident. Although it seemed like every 6 months there's like a terrible plane crash.
I
But a
remember.
long. Sorry, go ahead.
I remember it. It was pretty crazy to see. That was a helicopter drop down. It was just the video was weird. But yeah.
Man, along with changes in the federal worker system, there also been an increased spike in immigration related items. I feel like that's probably was like the biggest word of like in U.S. like this year, like immigration. Yeah, obviously that spawned a whole bunch of ICE related activity. Crazy part is not crazy part, but if you live in the Northeast region of the states, that definitely was a big thing. Like you saw areas in like Boston get ICE was in there heavy. Even like obviously New York and Philly as well. So they weren't messing around. It became like, even though it's super serious, it became like a meme of like if you have like immigrant friends, like I'm gonna call ICE on you. Jesus. Let's keep going. Jesus, all U.S. Politics stuff, terrorist implementation. Yeah, that again, in a lot of people's humble opinion, really didn't necessarily bring down the cost of groceries or a lot of day to day necessities. But hey, man. And also in music related um, news, Beyonce extended her record as the most awarded artist in Grammy history, bringing home her first ever Album of the Year award for Cowboy Carter. That was that This Ain't Texas project, and apparently they were also the first black woman in history to win a country album award.
Did I tell y'all that I couldn't, or I don't know if I can now. I couldn't ship things to the US. Like I can't
Because of the
ship
tariffs?
items. Yeah. I had to
Uh,
send, so I can send documents, and I think no, because there was a limit. There was like a cost limit, and if your product, your item was less than a certain cost, you could ship it. But then the main shipping company, the government shipping company, La Poste, in France, they said there's no minimum anymore. You can ship documents, and you can still get away with like one or two things, but in general, you can't ship things through the main pathway with the here in France because of the tariffs and stuff. So kind of impacted me, but I only had documents to send it.
no, that makes
Oh.
sense. Um, yeah, that sucks. And also that reminds me, like, definitely if I'm going too fast or if y'all want to speak on something, definitely like feel free to jump in because I'm kind of blowing through some of these things. But yeah, I definitely always interested to hear y'all takes on some of these things. Keep going. This is only at February. uh, I kind of skipped through some of the war conflict related things. Uh, this year, weight loss drugs became even more prevalent. I think the big name ones were Ozempic and Wegovy. Became more widely and nationally used. It says like used by nearly 12% of Americans, which is staggering.
That's
And
incredible.
I mean,
That's a lot.
when you look at the average weight of the people in the states, it's actually not that surprising. Um, apparently it was a tradition of the Pope. I feel that's probably a bigger thing in like Europe. Uh, Even though kind of Eurostep passed a lot of the conflict, you can't ignore the fact that there was the ongoing conflict with between Israel and Palestine has definitely been a huge topic of discussion all throughout the year. Hey man, so I can only guess. It's always gonna get a lot worse, but maybe one day it'll get better. Keep going. Um, feel as if this is kind of just the ongoing political climate that makes this bigger thing that is. But because we saw some of the stuff, during like the pandemic with some of the riots and protests that are going on, but there's definitely been an increase in National Guards being deployed to the respective cities. I think I'm not here to talk about politics, but it's always interesting when you hear, like, obviously, you know, there's a strong case for why the government should just deploy the National Guard to cities, but at the same time, a lot of people in a lot of these areas. I remember watching some interviews of some people, some citizens of in Chicago. They were like, "We actually welcome that type of change because, like, there's if you know anything about Chicago, it can get pretty violent. So it's kind of again one of those situations where they probably didn't go about it the right way, but some people were pleasantly welcoming of that type of change. And also, I just looked at something recently, and it's kind of still sad, but this in 2025, Chicago had its lowest murder rate since like the 1970s or maybe the 1980s, but it was still
Nice.
like 400 something, like some crazy amount. But anyway, salute to all the folks that are in major cities. Hopefully, you weren't impacted by some of the changes by the new administration. Keep going. An interstellar visitor. The Atlas Survey Telescope in Chile discovered interstellar comet 31 Atlas based on observation reported finding in July. The find sparked theories of extraterrestrial life. It's only the third known object from outside of our solar system to be observed on Earth. Do y'all remember that?
Oh,
Not at
that's
all.
interesting.
And I'm surprised that actually
Yeah,
that I missed it.
I heard about it, but as always, like, it's not aliens. It's never
It's
gonna
something
be.
though.
You never know.
True,
It's
You
not.
never
but
know.
still, from a scientific standpoint, I'm surprised I missed a comment slash uh, whatever the telescope discovery thing.
That's crazy. We get bogged down in all, and obviously it's very serious. We get bogged down in all this like conflict and political like warfare, but we have literally like been major like space and technological discoveries happening, and we just kind of yeah that happens.
Real
But
quick, this is kind of off topic, but did any of you read The Three Body Problem and more importantly, the sequel?
I remember you talking
I
I
about
read
I
it.
the three
read
body problem, only the three body
yeah
problem.
yeah, same here. I haven't read the
Oh,
sequels yet,
okay.
but it's on my list at some point to read.
I will just say that has significantly colored uh my um theories on whether or not there's extraterrestrial life, what that would look like if we
Is it
made
nonfiction?
contact. No, it's fiction.
So an author made up a story that was able to change your perspective on aliens.
And sci-fi can do that.
Happens all the time.
I don't know about that, but we'll save that for another time. Keep going.
100%.
Okay, so just some basic news that is like pop news, but obviously we don't really care about it. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey got engaged. Um, it would have been so tight if Kansas City like won like not back to back, but like kept a little dynasty going. But you know,
Fuck you mean? What? Oh no, that wouldn't have been cool. I'm happy
wh-
they
why
lost.
are you a Patrick Mahomes hater? That sounds. I guess he's.
Hold
I
up.
guess
First
I get
of
I
all,
guess I guess he is kind of anti Dr. Moore Johnson, but why are you hating on him,
first
brother?
of all, did I say Patrick Mahomes? No, I did not. I did not say anything about Patrick Mahomes. I don't have an issue with Patrick Mahomes, but I hate the Chiefs. And by
Okay.
extension, when Mahomes loses, the Chiefs loses. So it's a good day.
All right, we're
Like,
not getting
like
it. We're not getting into sports politics here. You say so, bro. Uh,
you the one
uh,
out here caping for the enemy, bro. Like that's like rooting
they're
for
not my
the
enemy. I just be very clear. not even in the same
They're my enemy.
my,
Shit.
they're not in the same division as my team, so I just, like don't care.
It's literally like you're rooting for the damn evil empire or some shit. Like
No,
you're rooting for the bad guys.
You seem to think they're the empire. I
And literally everyone else in the entire United States of America besides Kansas City.
I like Kansas City. I'm what's going on here. But regardless, also one of the huge topic discussions, and if you follow our podcast, you know, it's like every other podcast discussion involves AI to some degree. The AI arms race, as they call it, has intensified. Oh man, there's been so many. I was thinking about this before the podcast. There's just so many. It's at this point just annoying advancements in like the AI projects that are being implemented by these companies, and I keep just thinking about like nobody's really asking for this at all. It's kind of but it's just like when you look at these amounts, like uh, China's launch of a deep sea R1, the Trump administration announced a 500 billion Stargate project with OpenAI's. Like we're dumping like astronomical, like even 1 billion is an amount people can't fathom. $500 billion into AI. Oh my god, yeah, it makes my stomach kind of hurt. But we all know it's coming. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, real quick, like I am very annoyed by the intrusiveness of it at this point. Like I was just Googling on a couple of days ago because like I use Facebook Messenger, and every time somebody sends me like either a long message or like more than one message, it'll have this thing pop up saying like uh at request AI summary or something like that. Uh, and it's like, dog, get this out of my face. And it's every single time, like it's without fail. It's blocking messages. Like I don't want the AI summary. I want to read the thing myself. So
It's really
that
no,
stuff,
that is really concerning because we already losing our attention spans, and they're just like
right?
lose it more. Like,
Mhm.
that's
Just
crazy. You can't
voluntarily.
even Google anymore because Google
Nope.
now includes an AI summary. Like people were saying, even on the impact, the ecological impact of doing these searches and the server costs and all this. And they were saying you should use Google instead if it's a question that Google can answer. But now even Google is going to hit up the same servers in
Yeah.
order to run a query. So
Yeah, it's pretty grim. But the sad part is, for one, I think we're all relatively realist on here, so we know it's coming, and it's not really much to really say about it. Obviously, you can individually like kind of boycott things and make less use of these things, but the annoying part, I don't have any problem with AI getting to the point where it's pretty much bar for bar correct. The problem is we're throwing massive amounts of dollars at this, and you can still ask ChatGPT a question, it'll get it wrong, and when you correct it, it'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're right." Like, "Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, this is actually the right information." It's, and I guess that's it. Again, if I were to have like a wish list for AI, one, I think all these companies should slow down on it because it's really not even amounting to much of like customer like you're not gonna get more customers by using AI. But two, if you however much money is needed for it to be like at least 99% correct, then I'll be satisfied. But after that, I'm cool. I don't need, like Ace said, I don't need the summarizations. I don't need you to ask me what you might want. I don't need any of that. Just be correct when I ask a question. But
Bro,
AI
it's so pervasive at this
so.
point. It's like people use AI for writing work shit. They use the AI for emails. They use AI for just texting a significant other, and just what's a
that's
good message I
disturbing.
can send to wish my girlfriend a happy birthday, and it'll say some AI shit. They'll use AI. People legitimately treat AI like a friend or a confidant, and will ask AI. Like there was a case where someone was like, I think it was like they killed their family or something like that, and there's verifiable proof that the AI, it was talking to the AI like ChatGPT or something, and it was the AI was telling this person that their concerns their paranoia was justified, and just straight up spreading propaganda, and it ended up influencing this person's actions to do something evil. And it's like it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse.
Yeah, like you said, it's pretty grim out here. Speaking of something that I thought was AR related, but I guess I was just out the loop. The fictional K-pop group goes number one. Uh, I've only been hearing about it, but I guess the K-pop Demon Hunters is pretty big out there. Big enough that they got a number one on the Billboard Top 100. Even though it's a literal cartoon movie. Uh,
Yeah, shout out K-pop Demon Hunters. If you know, you know.
God, like it's
now,
some niche thing.
now that we kind of dial back, and even though if you look up K-pop Demon Hunter controversy on YouTube, you'll get 100 YouTube documentaries of how your kids shouldn't be watching it. It's the moral of the story. It's just like some popular thing with the kids, like when the Shark Doo was popular.
Yeah, it just became extremely popular with children. Like, I mean, I think pretty much anybody who watches it will like it, but especially kids.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Moving along, and back to the BS news. At least I always give credit to this writer. They knew how to portion it out. This year we saw the unfortunate assassination of a political influencer by the name of Charlie Kirk, which only went on to spark even more political divide or just division. Hey man, if I were to come on here and tell you all my things that I predict in the future, it'd be way too grim. Anyway, um, what's government? Oh yeah, the government shut down. There's so much stuff that happens this year you don't even like process. Yes, this year we saw the longest ever government shutdown in history that lasted 41 days. Rattle stock markets forced nearly 730 federal employees to work without pay, canceled thousands of flights due to stretched ear-thin FAA, and left 42 million SNAP recipients without food benefits. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. You look at these lists, and it's just like all these wild things happening out there, and once it was over, we just moved past it. On to the next thing. Anyway, and just like we're about to do, on to the next thing. Moving on. Yeah, this was one of the things that happened this year that I still don't really get how it happened, because it sounds like some movie disillusionist type stuff. And I don't think we ever talked about. I don't think I ever talked about what you was. Yes, this year we saw the literal Louvre. One of the is it one of the? Is it like not the biggest, or how would you describe the Louvre?
It's probably one of the most popular museums in the world.
Yeah, probably one of the most famous museums in the world. How you describe it?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
and you would think that being that nomenclature, it would have like the tightest security ever, and the only way you can like do a B&E is if you are literal James Bond. But this year, thieves were four mass thieves were able to steal jewels worth more than $100 million from the Louvre Museum in Paris. The daytime heist shook the world and inspired masterful memes. A tiara that belonged to the Empress Eugene. Is that what it is? Eugene?
Sure. Eugene.
Was later found damaged along the escape route. Dang. So these were regular jobbers. But the rest of the stolen goods remained at large. At least 7 people were eventually arrested in connection with the theft. Man, that's crazy.
The hilarious thing is that they said that these people were like running Windows XP, the Louvre. Like their computer systems were outdated and their security is lackluster. Like it's so stupid. Like, but yeah, it was wild. It was wild.
It's so crazy. That makes me think, like, I wonder if people got inspired. Hopefully, not inspired, but like, that doesn't actually surprise me what you just said, and it makes me think, like, I wonder if the average museum probably doesn't have this high tech, like, laser sensor guided like system in place. It literally might be some ancient software, and just a 65-year-old security guard that walks around.
Yeah, and I think it was more like a social engineering type thing because they came in when the museum opened, like at opening. They didn't even do it off hours, and they just used like I think it was the ladder that was already in place or something for work being done, or they acted like they were just doing work or whatever. Went in and went out, and I think it happened in like 7 minutes. Like it
Yeah, it was
was
relatively quick.
ridiculous. Like ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And the people that they caught, it seems to like something weird was going on. Like there seems like there was something weird behind the scenes, but at the same time, it was just a ridiculous event.
Yeah, heists in general these days, or crime in general, even though people are always gonna be crime, it just seems kind of. I mean, it just I've never thought more year in the expression like there's no such thing as an intelligent criminal more than this year with all the crimes that I've studied, not studied, but like looked into. Like, did how do you steal from the loot and expect to get away with it? Or I don't know. You can't even steal from CVS and get away with it. Anyway, let's keep going. I think we're almost done with this list. Oh my god, the Epstein files controversy. I don't want to get into it. Hey, listen, they released it. It was a bunch of redacted nonsense. I don't know. I don't know. All praises. I think this year was relatively light on mass shootings. But there was an unfortunate shooting at Brown University, and then it had a connection to like a death of like a professor in Massachusetts. There was a lot of weird stuff going
Wait,
on.
what? Oh yeah.
I don't know the full story.
Allegedly.
It's just there's been some weird crime stuff happening.
Yeah.
Um, and there was also again, unfortunately, issue an act of domestic terrorism in Sydney, Australia, which I don't know. Everything it just makes the world worse. Like I don't know. Do people not want? Do people not want like less division? Like a more unity? But we obviously know the answer to that. Is that it for this list, or is there more?
Um, there's people that died.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll pull up another list for the passings. Anyway, the moral of the story is all that stuff happened this year, and this doesn't even account for like, who, sports related items. There wasn't a lot of sports related things on here. There wasn't a lot of that much entertainment related things. So that's why we have to hit up another list. You can not close it out, but let me. This won't have any visuals to it, but I'll just read off the hip hop list because if you want to know what happened in the culture, you gotta look at the hip hop list. And again, I probably should show it, but it's just a Wikipedia page, and I don't really find that to be the most productive thing. So give me 1 second. Then go back here. Oops, that's not the right one. Nope, that's not the right one. Yeah, there we go. So just bear with me. In 2025, starting in January, we saw, if y'all recall, Drake file a federal defamation lawsuit against his literal label over the Kendrick "Not Like Us" record. Spoiler alert, that did not pan out very well for Drake. We saw ASAP. This was this year. ASAP Rocky went on was on trial for assault with a deadly weapon against one of his former affiliates, ASAP Relly. This year also, YFN Lucci was released from prison. That's actually the difference in list that we're going over, because only on the hip hop the hip hop list of events that happened this year, there's going to be a lot of somebody either went to prison or got released from prison. This one has more entertainment related items, of course. As far as Grammys, Kendrick was one of the biggest winners of it. Speaking of the Not Like Us record, he won the Grammy for Record of the Year for the Not Like Us record. And apparently, Rhapsody and Erykah Badu won a Grammy as well for Best Melodic Rap performance. And also, Doechii was a major winner of the Grammys for 2025, winning for their Alligators Never Bite. Was that the name of it? No, Alligators Bite Never Heal, I believe, is the name of that one. Anyway, So yeah, salute to Doechii, salute to Kendrick, salute to all the winners of the Grammys. This year, speaking of deaths, unfortunately, Ergati, the one of the co-founders and general pioneers in that hip hop era, passed away. This year we had the Super Bowl, which Kendrick Lamar. This was basically early 2025 was basically Kendrick's year. He performed at the halftime show, and while there was mixed reviews from that, I think did exactly what he probably set out to do. And apparently it was like one of the most watched halftime shows ever. So anyway, moving on. Don't see anything else in February that was that outstandish. So moving right along in March. Speaking of passings, the legendary DJ Funk passed away. In March is when UMG fought back against that Drake lawsuit, and that kind of got messy. Sorry, I was confused by something. NBA YoungBoy was released from federal prison. Oh my gosh. Moving along to April. Nothing really big happened there. Moving along to May, nothing really happened there as well. There was some music awards like the American Music Awards. Eminem won for some reason. In June, the BET Awards happened. Kendrick won, of course. Oh, you remember the what was the popular song? Y'all know Slento?
Sounds vaguely familiar.
He had that poppin' song. What was it?
Silento.
The
Yeah,
Nene
I
record.
know. Yeah, Nene. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what do you think happened to that one hit wonder? He went to prison
I know
for
he
30
has
years.
some legal trouble. I don't remember what it was. He did something crazy.
For 30 years because he smoked his cousin
Jesus.
for some reason.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving right along. In June, also the double XL freshman for this year came out. If you recall correctly, this year was Rayvon, Baby Chief Do It, M Triplin, 1900 Rugrats, Samara Sin, Ian Jello, Low Shimmy, Laser Dim 700, YTB Fat, Nino Paid, and EBK Jabo. Do y'all remember any of these brothers and sisters?
I mean, Samara Sin.
1900 Rugrat produced the worst album of the year for me.
Facts. I don't want us to go on a rant again. Wasn't that album just so trash, Ace?
It was offensively bad. Like I hated everything about it and everything it stands for.
Yeah. Anyway, in July, we saw Diddy get convicted on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. But it was still kind of a W because he was acquitted on 2 counts of sex trafficking and a RICO charge. But yeah, we definitely saw the downfall of Diddy between 2024 and 2025. In August, nothing too crazy happened. Lil Nas X, if anyone's wondering what happened to him, he got arrested for a battery charge and had a suspected drug overdose. In September, we had the MTV Music Video Awards, and Doechii won for that Anxiety record. In October, Diddy was sentenced for those crimes we just mentioned, and he got 50 months. So with good behavior and time served, he'll probably be out in like 2027. We saw Pooh Shiesty get released from prison. We saw the Drake lawsuit get thrown out after like a whole year of back and forth with the label. In November, we saw Blueface get released from prison. Jesus. In dope news, we saw Outkast. Are you still there, Wes? By the way.
Yeah, I'm still here. No worries.
Okay, just checking. We saw Outkast get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So it's Outkast. We saw Max B get released from prison. Hey man, it's a W somewhere. Uh, Speaking of prison, we saw Praz, obviously member of the iconic Fuji's group, actually get sentenced to 14 years in prison. Jesus, he got sent to prison for some treason stuff. And then rounding out in December, nothing too crazy. The only thing really this year is that we saw there was a South African Music Award, so that's cool. So all in all, kind of like how we mentioned during when we actually review all the hip hop albums, this year was definitely kind of low key. Obviously, there was some big moments in hip hop. As far as some of the music that came out, the Drake legal battle was kind of like a big deal. Obviously, the Diddy stuff was a big deal, and some of the aftermath of it, like unfortunately now it's kind of legacy is kind of embedded with some of these nefarious dealings, and we saw documentaries come out afterwards. Did any of y'all watch the Diddy documentary?
Yeah, I was a little bit in and out on the first few parts, but yeah, ultimately I watched most of it.
Was your takeaway that he is a fiend?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, he's a menace. He's a problem. I
Damn.
think even if it's not going into all the details of everything and everything doesn't pan out to be 100% his fault or whatever. I think his personality is such that he he's kind of like he has a god complex and he's taken advantage of it in different ways. And yeah, he's given into a lot of his indulgences and things. So I think regardless of what legally they can get him on, he's got some skeletons for sure, serious skeletons.
Jesus. What comes to mind? It's not on this list, and I usually give salute to whoever works on this hip hop Wikipedia page. They didn't mention in this year. It happened at the tail end of this year, so maybe that's why no one got to it. But we saw the main crew of the morning show for Hot 97, which was on air for like I think they said almost 20 years or something like that. Their show actually ended, which was a major shake up in the world of radio, especially in the New York tri-state area and just hip hop in general. And there was so many, there's so much content that came out of that. And while I, have been a historical, like not, I'm not, I don't hate on anything, but I've never been fond of folks like Peter Rosenberg. Even I acknowledge that's kind of like,
You're
I guess.
definitely a Rosenberg hater.
No, I'm not a hater, but
Yes, you
I,
are,
I was about
dog.
to, I was about to give into
Bro,
it.
when
I
I
was about
bring up
to.
that album, that compilation album, and you got so pressed about it,
I
dog.
didn't get pressed about it. I just
You-
it doesn't excite
if
me that
you say so, if you say
it
so.
doesn't interest me that some just because they work at a hip hop radio station that some white old guys put together a hip hop album. Anyway, all in all, I think that was definitely somewhat of a loss in hip hop culture because as somebody that when I was in high school and early college, I loved watching those Hot 97 interviews. So it's definitely unfortunate to see that come to an end. But all good things do come to an end. Um, and that makes me think there's probably mad stuff that's missing from like all the things that happened throughout the year in hip hop. Um, but you know, we work with what we got. Maybe one day that'll be our thing. We'll have like a B1 B field page that really covers everything. Well, not everything, because that's the other thing about this. I was talking about earlier, but this page has gotten like kind of influenced by like international news. So like they'll be talking about like some random French rapper that passed away, which is obviously we want to remember everybody, but when we're speaking about hip hop, we typically do want to call out the the main stuff happening obviously internationally, but the main stuff happened states wise. Um, but yeah. Anyway, but yeah, moving right along. Unfortunately, we do have to, before we get to, our main um favorites of the year, we do have to talk about, who passed, give a quick condolence, rest in power, all that, and all this and that. And, all praises, I would say not too many super famous or relevant folks passed. And I was even thinking about, obviously, I could be remiss, or I could be missing something, but especially in our lives, which is always the most important thing, I don't think too many people passed away, which is a super blessing. But if you do need a reminder of some of the influential people that did pass away, I was looking at this list. I think this is from the BBC. If you recall, unfortunately, Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away, best known for his role in the Cosby Show.
Crazy.
Um, mm, there was another brother on. Oh, D'Angelo passed away. That was so unfortunate. That's
Crazy.
um. I'm sorry, I don't mean to make that. It's just there was that unfortunate event that happened to that Rob Reiner guy. Although I don't really remember what's a Rob Reiner production.
All I know Rob Reiner from is the MF Doom line. Ace, I think turn off
well,
vaudeville villain.
well, that's enough for us to remember them. Obviously, as we mentioned, Charlie Kirk passed, and this is more like in the political space. Dick Cheney passed. Dick Cheney was like super old. Um, Ozzy Osbourne passed this year. Is that right?
Yep. Yep.
Obviously, what's the name of the record? Is a banger? Is it Midnight Train? Do they have
Crazy
any other?
Train, I think.
Whatever.
Yeah, crazy.
It's the train. Do they have any other solidified bangers that like you globally or universally would say is a banger?
Yeah.
War Pigs.
He was in Black
War.
Sabbath, so War Pigs, Iron
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, he did. Oh, okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah. So we'll give him even though some of that stuff was weird, we'll give him a rest in power.
I mean, yeah, Black Sabbath is arguably the origin of metal music as a genre. So.
Yeah. They're pretty important.
Let's see. Who else? Oh, that's music. Yeah, this music is like relatively. Gwen McCrae. My apologies. Definitely influential funk and soul singer. Who else? Hulk Hogan. If any, we were talking about wrestling before. A whole legend. Both on a famous and infamous side. Man, it sucks because didn't he do all that like bigger stuff like he got older, or it came out when he got older?
I feel like he's always. Well, you know what? Let me not slander. Let me not just say anything that's baseless.
I don't know. I'm not sure. It felt like we noticed it later, but I don't know if on the low he was doing something. I don't know.
I think as a society we should have like a cutoff age for like obviously you can't go around like whipping people or race of people that you don't like, but that's an age. This is an age in which like bigotry should be a bit more loud.
I think I agree. I don't know.
But anyway, what is this? That's their writers. Do we know any writers?
Possibly. I don't remember.
And this person
Deaths, but
this person was relatively young. What is this in media space? I don't think we're gonna know anybody that's in the media space in sports. I know that George Foreman passed away this year, unfortunately. Salute to him, a whole legend. You know what's actually I was not even I'm not even looking at a list, but I was thinking about it. There was quite a few brothers that were either in the NFL or formerly in the NFL that passed away this year. It was weird. It was I think it was like 3+ brothers. But yeah, the list is again, the list I'm looking at has a bunch of people, but I'm just kind of going over some of the names I think we would all know here. But the moral of the story is always, you know, we send our, and it's always good to remember folks that passed away throughout the year. Obviously,
Did you did you say David Lynch? You didn't say David Lynch.
David Lynch passed away.
That was pretty crazy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they are. David Lynch.
That was this year?
Yeah.
Oh
Apparently
wow.
in January.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
For those who might not know, he made Twin Peaks, right?
Yep.
Twin Peaks, Mulholland Drive, the Dune 80s version, Blue Velvet. On the process.
I guess before I go on a tangent or move on, is there anyone else that I may have not mentioned that y'all remember passing?
I don't think so.
Did you mention Diane Keaton?
I saw them on the list. I didn't know if that was someone that we are. What are they? Are they like related to Michael Keaton?
No, I
Why?
don't think so.
Why do we know them?
But she was in uh, as far as what we would know, she was in The Godfather. I think all three of them,
Oh,
or at least the first two.
interesting. Yeah, they're definitely on the list. Anyone else?
Not that I can think of.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, again, rest in power to all those who are passed, and or if you were on the wrong side of history, rest in peace. I think that's all the list we have to look at, though. With that, I think we can actually get to the main thing we like. Well, actually, let me double check. Let me go over my list one more time. Interview passing. Yes, our 2025 favorites. Yes, let's get right to it. Pull it up, Ghost. And everyone make sure they have that spreadsheet up. Can you zoom in, Ghost? I think it's. Oops, no, that's not right.
Oh, sorry.
There we.
Let you know here. Uh, whatever. I'll just keep this.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So, like we do every year, and one of my favorite parts of the year because obviously I'm super interested to know what y'all favorite for these particular categories, but I just love good data. I think it's going to be so interesting going back looking at some of these. Hopefully, it's all preserved. Going back at some of these spreadsheets in like 25 plus years and be like, dang, that was a banger that year. And as you may or may not notice at the bottom, we've been doing this for a couple of years now, so it's definitely interesting to see how our taste has been say consistent or evolved or devolved. I don't know if a taste can devolve, but yeah. I mean, without further ado, I think we can get right into it. We're being kind of flowing right to the podcast. So, for the first category, we start off nice and strong with our favorite tracks of 2025. Yes, we covered all the albums that came out recently, but we didn't really get to the nitty gritty of our bar for bar favorite track. And this is also outside of just hip hop, as well. So, unless I'm missing any other things that are disclaimers that y'all think is worth mentioning, I think let's just get right to it. Hopefully, y'all have y'all favorites at the top of your head or written down somewhere. So, Ghost,
Yep.
if you
So
don't
I
mind
believe,
starting us off.
yeah. So we're just going one by one. So everyone gives her fifth, and then fourth and third as we descend and alternate. Just confirming that's correct.
Yes, sir.
All right. So for my fifth favorite song of the year, it's not super ordered, but as best as I could do it. Uh, Movie Star by Natanya, who was one of my favorite artists of the year. She dropped a couple of projects, EPs that are kind of interconnected, and this is probably my favorite one off of all the projects. I mean, they were all great, but this one I classify more as R&B pop. Short track, but truly excellent. Great production.
Nice. And I'm next, and I'm already cheating. You can blink that out. I only got 4 tracks. Easy
Dog.
money.
You could find one track, dog. Come on.
Ace,
All right.
do you have a top 5 favorite record?
Yes, I do. It is Quizzical by Rip Swirl and YDE Girl. It's off of an EP, and I think I've brought it to the pod before. I would classify it as trip hop. And as I've said before, Rip Swirl has not been dropping any duds. Like everything he's been associated with, I've been loving. So this was just another entry in that list.
Oh wait. Ghost, you're not supposed to be typing it. Sorry. Go Ace, go in there and type that. Or are
He's
you doing
typing
that?
it.
My stuff
Yeah.
or everybody?
Yours.
No, no, yours.
Oh yeah, I'm doing it.
He's
Oh,
doing it.
sorry, I thought that was you, Ghost. But that's your cursor though. Sorry, I got confused by that. And then Wes, do you have a top 5?
Yep. Normally it's going to paste in. I can paste, right? Okay, cool. Um, yeah, I have Heaven by Jadu Hart, which I listened to them years ago, and I just happened to pop back in to see what they're doing. They released this year, and the project is very, very good. And it has sometimes it has like a 2010s electronic indie vibe. Sometimes it has like a like an electronic grunge is what I wrote vibe to it. And yeah, no, so super good. And this track is more on the like a 2010s indie type dream popish vibe. Yeah.
And I forgot they drops, and I think you already told us earlier in the year.
I feel like you'd really like the album.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna give it a listen.
I might be bugging, and this really doesn't matter, but are these fonts the same size? I guess maybe they are. Or the
Oh,
fonts
That's
the
seem to
trip
be
that's
hop.
probably
different.
my fault. That's uh
Okay, it looks like it is a little different. Truly doesn't matter, but I'm super anal about the stuff
did you delete?
matching. So
Or
no,
did I delete?
I just match properties. I didn't delete anything.
Was one of them
But I
shrink to
disappeared.
fit maybe?
Uh,
Unless I did. All right, technical nonsense.
all right.
Getting ahead of ourselves. And at number 4, what's your favorite? What's your next one? Sorry.
I think my number 4 is going to be a track by Anais called My World Beyond. This one is another R&B track, and everything that she's put out, going back years, I've always greatly enjoyed, not only from a musical standpoint, but the songwriting. For some reason, like her songwriting has like a tangible impact on like the way I view certain things in my life as like just conceptually, and gets me to recontextualize certain things, which is not something that a lot of artists can do. And this track was one of the standouts on her album that she dropped this year. Really enjoyed it.
It's awesome when you find an artist like that.
And then For me, oh, I gotta. I'm talking to you. I don't even have it pulled up. That's what I would do. At number four for me, you know what's crazy? I'm a big like in no particular order type of guy, and I think that might be applicable to me. Like my favorite songs of the year, I think they're all maybe outside of number one, to kind of be mix and mash to a certain extent. So to make it make sense a bit, I'm gonna put the one that's kind of again cheating. That's kind of the theme of this episode. That Young Black and Rich record.
Or Armin record.
Yeah, I kind of feel stupid for like being the last one to find that record, but I mean, it's a banger. If even if it's like a meme, I don't get it. Like, I listen to that song and I get pumped. Did any of y'all ever listen to that song and how he has like a little kind of weird, not weird, but intro thing? Where he's like the only way to get through life is to get it. Like nobody cares about your problems. Like just go out there and get it. Like I remember hearing that for the first time. I was like, oh, so I should be working out right now. Like what am I doing? But
That's fire.
if anybody doesn't know, oops, that's not what I meant to do. The brother's name is Melly Mike. He also why is this not working? He's also apparently a streamer, but I've never caught his streams. But I think now that he's big, I think his streams are infrequent, and also sometimes he'll just stream his live performances. But yeah, I know I'm kind of like lame, if I had TikTok, I'd probably known about that record like way sooner. But yeah, that's one of my favorite records for this year. Back to you, Ace.
My next one is going to be Loser by Julia Wolf. This year I got super into Julia Wolf with her release of the album Pressure, and I brought Loser as a track when it was just a single. I loved it back then, and when the album dropped, it was definitely my standout track from the album. And yeah, she's got like a, what would you call it, Ghost, again? Like a pop slash um I don't know. I mean, this song in particular is like super heavy as well. Like a has a lot of
Oh,
edge, but it still has like a
I think she's kind of like a hint of like, I don't know about punk, like pop punk
yeah,
necessarily.
yeah, modern pop punk, maybe you would classify it as. But yeah, it's super pretty heavy track, very desperate lyrics. Um, but I had it on repeat for quite a while. So dope track, also a dope album. I highly recommend if anybody is into the modern pop punk type stuff.
Nice. And then next, US.
For my number four, normally it would come in. There we go. Um,
You're gonna set
oh, my
Ghost off
bad. I
again.
didn't put, yeah, the font. I'll fix it. But yeah, no, I really, this album, the album was the Chance the Rapper. No More Old Men is the song off the
Starline.
album Starline, and the album. Well, I think I mentioned it to y'all. Like he's really, he's sad, and
We know.
it shows. Like
Mm.
it kind of it was a rough one to listen to, but I mean he's still talented and it was still good technically, uh but yeah, and this particular track it hit me um in a good way. I mean, but just like it was a very nostalgic track and talking about our elders and
Yeah.
the things that we'll miss when they pass and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it was a heavy album for me, especially
Yeah,
having witnessed Chance grow up.
This track was like one of the best hip hop tracks of the year. It was that this track in particular was amazing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ghost.
Number three track, I think I'm gonna go with "The Space Between" by Hannah Francis and Daniel Rawson. This one, I can't even remember how I came across it, to be honest, because it's like it's folk and it's not my usual wheelhouse. Oh, you know, I came across it because Daniel Rawson is a fantastic artist, the frontman of Grizzly Bear. Soul stuff's amazing. It's a what do they call it? Like he's not a prodigy, a savant on the guitar. Like he's unbelievably good. And this track from start to finish is excellent, but the coda at the end, like the last minute and a half, is some of the best music I've ever heard. Like it's amazingly good. Whole album was dope, but this track was a standout.
Nice. Next for me, again, some of this can be in any order, but I definitely couldn't have a top list. I probably should be putting the song first. Thank you. The Dirty Diana record by Jordan. I like your music so much. I probably should figure out how to pronounce your last
At a
name
Tunji.
correct. Yeah, I've been giving a lot of props to his brother throughout the year. Again, another thing, but if I had TikTok, I'd probably would have known about them sooner than later because of the virality of the Kalani record. But even that record I really liked, and even that record I really liked rather. But yeah, yeah, I think based off their project, this was probably the song that I ended up listening to the most, and I really like. And also, I like the fact that I've always had the controversial hot take that let me not. I was gonna say something. I'm gonna say hot take that's not really reflective of what I'm talking about right now. The moral of the story is I really like this record. This brother can rap pretty fluid. Like the flow can get really good, and
Yeah, he
also
has a great flow. Yeah.
their just general vibe of something that's really gonna catch you and hold you, make you wanna move. I think they really mastered that, which is real because again, I feel people only really know them for the client. A lot of people only know them for the client record, but yeah, they can produce records like that again. So definitely salute to them.
Oh, so you listen to that album yet?
I have not. I mean, I'll listen to it eventually, but I've heard like clips of this Dirty Diana track and his other one that was the Kalani one, and I wasn't blown away. So I don't know. I'll check it out eventually.
Definitely one of the takeaways for our between us and the listeners in general. Obviously, at this point, a lot of these records are ironically, and a lot of these records just end up being the records that we bring, throughout the weeks for our song selection of the week. But definitely, if we were to co-sign any song and maybe one that you should definitely listen to, I think this is our like closest to definitive list, in my opinion. I definitely always make sure I go back and check out y'all top songs of the year, and I usually end up being some of my favorite songs. But sorry, go ahead, Ace.
So my next one is Blink Moth July Mix by James K. This artist was recommended to me by Ghost earlier in the year, and they ended up dropping an album which I liked a lot. Their genre is like electronic slash ambient slash kind of trip hop. Um, and yeah, it reminds me of like the stuff I was into like in the early 2000s, like listening to different game soundtracks like SimCity would be a big one. Um, but yeah, just brought into the modern era. So again, another album that I love. I mean, I guess I'm spoiling my top albums, but
I am too,
uh
to be honest.
this track is great. Great. And it's long as well. Take their time with it.
Nice. Oh, is it not coming in? All right, I'm gonna.
There you go.
Okay. So for me, the next one is another Jadu Heart track, the
Back to
opening
back.
track of the album. Um, it really it was a great start to the album to set it off, and it has like uh almost Radiohead type vibe in the beginning, and then it hits like this crazy grunge, and just very satisfying peak, and it's yeah, it's a really good track. Like as I said, the album's very good. So.
Tight. Okay, spinning it back to you, Ghost. What are we at? Number two? Damn, we're getting through it quick.
Number two, I could have brought a lot of different tracks from this artist, but I didn't want to duplicate. So going with one, which is Who Knew by LEG. I think I mentioned him last week or when we last did the pod that he's like very quickly become one of my favorite artists of the year, favorite hip hop artists of the year. I only started listening to him like I think 3 months ago, and he's my top listened artist of the entire year to this point. And this track in particular is off his most recent album. And like from a production standpoint, production's excellent, but from a songwriting standpoint, he also like hits that niche for me or occupies that space of like being very profound, but in like a down to earth, ironic kind of way where it's not really like being too pretentious about certain things, but like, he has some lines and bars in there that like again will have me contemplating, thinking about like, damn, that's something that I kind of want to apply to my everyday life in certain ways. So yeah, this track is again, it's not long, but it's one of my favorites of the year. Super excellent.
Got you, got you. And for me, next, it is a bit basic, but I feel as if just the sheer volumes that I bumped it, and the fact that I think it's going to be on, I think it's on a lot of people's lists. Um, the I think I feel as if it might not have come out this year. That's the other crazy part because I feel like I've been hearing that beat for a while. But the Whips and Chains record uh, by Eclipse, yeah, again, just the pure repeatability for that record for me. Um, yeah, I think it's probably one, if not the biggest bangers of the year. Obviously, there's always going to be some Gunna record that's probably the biggest banger, but yeah, I just thoroughly enjoy this record, and I think even if it's not the biggest record and doesn't win awards, I think it's definitely one of the best beats for this year. As far as like a beat that a lot of rappers, a lot of artists can hop on and do a freestyle to, which I think was one of their motivation, was part of their motivation on that. So yeah, salute to Pharrell. I think Eclipse, they just kind of put together really solid music on that outing.
Nice. Okay, my next one is Palindrome by Flawed Mangoes. Um, this was an artist I discovered last year and got super into them because of their like ambient acoustic uh vibe on last year's album. But this year they went, I won't say in a different direction, but they definitely incorporated a lot more sounds, more shoegazy type sounds, a lot more heavier stuff, more vocals. And I think this was a prime example of them experimenting um and pulling that off flawlessly. So Yeah, this song is much heavier. Has vocals, but it's still, I mean, pretty perfect in my mind. So I hope they continue to explore that in their subsequent albums.
Nice. For me, longtime favorite Saint Seneca. They released an album this year. Uh, and this track in particular, I mean, honestly, the album is fairly solid all the way through. Um, but a hallmark of them is the lyrics, like the choice of words, not necessarily. I don't know. They just have a very good way with words, and um, and then the instrumentation, it's the folk vibe. It always gets me. Like every album, I have tracks that I like, and I can always spin their album back, front to back. So uh, they released, and I was very happy.
Dope, dope. And last but not last and the greatest, our number one records. We should give this one. You should give these like drum rolls. Ghost, what would you say was your favorite bar for bar record of 2025?
Favorite track of 2025 was Rippling by Bonobo. This one was uh, on the soundtrack to the Lazarus anime, which I still have to actually go back and watch. But from the second that I heard the uh, the clip of this in the trailer for the anime, I replayed it about 50 times, and when it came out officially, I again replayed it nonstop. He's a fantastic artist producer, been around for quite a while, but this I think is his best work. One of my honestly one of my favorite songs like ever, like top in my top 50 ever. It is that good. Um, yeah, just listen to it because it is amazing. I think this is I guess I would just put under electronic, I guess, kind of just a generic genre, but yeah, it is an amazing song.
Got it. Dope. Yeah. Again, for anyone listening, definitely if you are looking for bangers, definitely at the bare minimum check out these, all of our number ones. And for my number one, I think most people outside would probably already heard of it. And to be honest, it's kind of hard. I don't want to talk too much about this because I'm gonna go more in depth on when I talk about the album. But I think it's kind of obvious to know where I'm coming or where I'm going rather. It's definitely a weekend record. The only problem is it's kind of hard to decide because there's like three on the album that are like equally really good. And I think I'm only going on this one because not only I think I'm going on this one because all these records, all the records that I really enjoy on the album, I can remember like spamming them or just playing them back to back. I think this one I think is the most recent and like long most amount of like replays that I did. So I'm going with Drive. Salute to the weekend. They put out a project and they put out music that they put it out early in the year and 12 plus months later I can pop it on and have that same level of dang, I really thoroughly enjoy this and I want to hear it more. Obviously, it's the most obvious thing in the world, but I definitely recommend you listen to it while you're driving.
So, my number one track of the year is Sometimes I Think About Death by Winter, produced by Rip Swirl. Um, this song, so Winter had maybe my top project of last year or one of the top projects of last year. But this year, for whatever reason, it took me a while to get into their their latest album. Um, and I remember I put it on while I was going to sleep, and I fell asleep pretty early on, but this track woke me up. I think because of how good it was, my subconscious heard it and woke up. I was like, damn, this
It's
is
a wild story.
fire. But yeah, I pretty much had it on repeat since that time. It was just so freaking good. But yeah, this is another basically trip hop, kind of alt rockish, but track. I besides the production itself, I love with how Winter plays with her vocals. It seems to be a slight departure from the kind of, I won't say monotone, but the what she's established so far. But yeah, overall, great track. And yeah, definitely my top.
Nice, he came back just in time.
My bad, my bad. I have no idea what happened. Uh, minute.
Yeah, take your time. I already know who's gonna win the award for most interesting genres.
Mm.
What does hop designate? Just a sidebar. Salute to
What do you mean, like trip hop versus hip hop?
salute to Absol. I think he best defined hip hop. Hip kind of referring to movement, or no, intelligence, and hop kind of referring to movement. So hip hop kind of translates to intelligent movement. But we can't just put hop on there and at the end of everything.
I don't think the
Man,
trip hop in
this
hip.
genre has existed since the
Yeah,
early
it's
2010s. Like I don't know why they call it that.
trip hop.
I don't know why they call it trip hop. I mean,
Trip hop has
I'm more
existed
focused
since
on.
like the 90s.
I'm
oh
more
yeah, yeah,
focused.
yeah,
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 yeah.
I'm more
yeah, yeah.
focused
You're
on what
right.
does
You're
it
right.
mean when you put a hop on it? Does that mean it's a blend of hip hop or is
I
hop some
honestly
kind?
think it's just a play on hip hop, and it's just like
Yeah.
a subsection of hip hop. It doesn't. It's not like it doesn't mean anything in and of itself. But they have the hop at least.
So what's rock hop?
Non-existent.
Go to your Spotify and put in rock hop. You'll get some. You'll get
I'll
some.
Google rock
No, no,
hop.
it's
That's not a thing. That's a thing.
no, not rock hop, but there's the
Okay.
concept. It's new metal.
Oh yeah, the actual genre of rock and hip hop
Yeah,
combined. Yeah, that's not called the rock hop.
yeah, exactly. Uh, oh, okay. I think. 1 second. Uh,
I guess
I
while I'm being
think.
nitpicky, when they put alt on something, is it just literally shortening alternative, or is alternative and alt something different?
Yeah, it's always just
I think it
alternative.
was originally was supposed to be that, but I think
Because you,
there is like an
I
alt
think it still
specific
is.
genre that is alt.
cause
Just called alt.
you don't call
No,
alternative
alt
music.
and alt.
You don't call alternative
Oh,
music alt.
actually,
Throwing that alt.
I
alt
I
might
think
be a different.
alternative has become it was originally alternative rock, but I think alternative has become a genre in and of itself.
Oh,
That's
you're right. So it is shortening.
Oh,
Yeah, you're right.
I see what you mean.
So in the future it's gonna be all.
a fun fact about which I didn't know this. The origin, the hop does come from it's a reference to hip hop, but the trip actually, I thought it was like related to like triplets and the drums, but it's actually about actually tripping, like
Oh,
going on psychedelic journey or something like that. I didn't know that.
Makes sense.
Very interesting, but it
And
makes sense.
you got your last record yet? Or your best record? Favorite record?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 1 second. Uh,
What band was making psychedelic hip hop music though?
hold up. Oh, I didn't move. All right, hold on. 1 second. I need to move.
Yeah, the fact that there's no, I guess saying there's no consistency makes it seem like a negative connotation. The fact that there's that much, well, alleged variety within your record basis, that's pretty cool.
So for number one, Neo, Wildflowers R&B track.
That is a good record.
We all know Neo, and yeah, this one I just kept playing it throughout the year. It's such a good track. Um, I will say that no, no, not to belittle her or anything, but I didn't care for the album. I think that it went a direction a little bit too much of a pop-ish direction. That to me, she hasn't done it to such a degree. But this track, I mean, it just reminds me of, and it is more in line with what she normally would have made before. So solid track.
Dope. So it's now. And again, yeah. Throughout the year, we try our best to recommend music that we think that people would enjoy or that we enjoy, and most importantly. And this list is just kind of that peak level of that. Our favorite songs that we bumped into. I think what it kind of boils down for me, and it sounds like you guys can relate to an extent. The songs that we just find ourselves going back to and like being able to like repeat, it does by and large going to be reflective of some of our favorite music. And yeah, if I don't use streaming services, but if you were to see how many times I played these records, I think some of them like almost peak triple digits. Like it's just and that's listen. I really appreciate that because I don't know if it's me or whatever the case may be, but there are some seasons where I just don't really have a new song that I come across or a newer song or a different song that I come across. Um, that I really am enthusiastic about. Like I can acknowledge good music or even something that's a banger, but like sorry something that like oh yeah I heard that recently. Let me play it again real quick. It's kind of far and few between for me these days. So the fact that I have my list, and I'm sure you guys kind of feel similarly, or maybe not to that exact sentiment, but as far as these songs are songs that you truly will probably always enjoy. I think that's dope to have, and dope that we keep it on record. But moving right along, songs one thing, but which artist had entire body of music that you thoroughly enjoyed? Scroll over to the right a bit, Ghost, and let's jot down our top five, or in some case, top two
Oh my lord!
favorite albums. Starting with you, Ghost. Top five.
All right. I sort these. I don't know if I did. Honorable mention. It's not going on the list because it doesn't qualify. But Mackay McCraven dropped 4 separate like 6-track EPs. All had a different vibe to them, but all of them were excellent. Unfortunately, it wasn't a full album, so it's make the list. But actual number 5 is going to Feline's Return by Natanya. This is again kind of cheating because these were 2 separate EPs, but it's thematically and musically similar, so I'm counting it. Um, yeah, I kind of already described her stuff earlier, but she had one of my favorite albums of the year 2023. Favorite album, one of the favorite albums in the decade, honestly, because I still play it a lot to this day. And this album was pretty much similar in vibe to that. Some interesting themes on it, but a lot of unique sounds or interesting sounds. which you don't often hear in R&B nowadays. Overall, greatly enjoyed this project.
Nice. Similarly, if you are looking for a whole body of music, a whole project that people would enjoy, these are definitely our recommendations. Um, I'm kind of gonna follow in your lead a bit, Wes. And as far as 5 albums, I don't know if I got five for you. I got four. I don't got five for you. Go ahead, Ace.
All right, my number five is "Thirst" by Slow Crush. This is a bit pretty much a shoegaze album, a heavier shoegaze album. Um, and I've been following this band for a long time now. Um, Previously, my favorite album from them was Aurora. And like I've been kind of in and out with their stuff. That was released in 2020. I've been kind of in and out since then, but this was like uh, a extreme a return to form, in my opinion. I also got vibes of other bands I like in the genre. Um, from this album in particular, there's a lot of great tracks. Um, so yeah, just overall very good heavy shootings. Thirst, Slow Crush. I wish I got to see them live this year, but I did not. Or last year.
I will make a quick comment since I don't have no albums
Hmm.
or not a lot. But I think the listeners know more or less my listening habits, which are old jazz and not much else. So the stuff that comes through is really the stuff that I do listen to, with the exception of stuff that is not 2025 releases. But there were a few releases, jazz releases this year that I didn't keep an eye out for. But I know Sullivan Fortner released, E.O. Croker released, and the few tracks that I did hear were solid. But as y'all know, I'm not too current, so that's part of the reason why.
Fair enough. Spinning back to you, Ghost. What you got?
Number four album is gonna be Devotion and the Black Divine by Anais. I also have one of my favorite tracks of the year on it. But overall, just a very excellent showing from her again. Didn't like it quite as much as her last two, one of them which was a collab with Bill Cosmo, but still very good, very well put together. Plus, I really, really like that album name. It's super great.
Fair enough. As for me, coming in at number four, I talked about the album at a pretty good length when we did the all albums review, and I think so. I don't won't bore anybody, but I think for me at number four, I would give it to Saba and No ID, the private collections of Saba and No ID, aptly named. Um, yeah, I just have so much appreciation for an album that came in and was so smooth. Again, in a sea of kind of barely listenable projects and or uninteresting music. And I think not to get into the consensus, but I think that was one of my takeaways from this year. There's obviously a good volume of music that was dropped. Like you can pretty much name an artist and they dropped this year. But well, Meek Mill didn't drop. I don't know if you're gonna check for that, but usually Meek Mill drops. But was a lot of it like super interesting or holding your attention? I would say not very much. So when I heard this album and it was just like instantly like, okay, this is dope music. I'm gonna continue to listen to it. I instantly knew it was gonna be one of my favorite albums of the year, and it held up incredibly well. So again, salute to Sab. Definitely produced an album that I thoroughly enjoyed. What about you, Ace?
Wes, do you listen to that one? You didn't, probably, right?
Nah, I feel like yeah, if I did, it probably would have been up there for me.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna say we talked about the track during the last pod, but how to impress God, like I think you would I think you would really like that track.
Definitely
I
stands
think
out.
I heard you talking about the album and saying I think this was the album for you that really showed you that Saba was was
Yes,
dope.
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah. No, Saba is yeah, no, he's
Hmm?
incredible artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you need anything for right now? Okay, let me know when you
All
come back.
right. So then for me, my number two is going to be where is
Technically number
it?
four, unless you're
Oh yeah,
doing
sorry.
unless you're doing
No,
anything
you're
else.
right. You're right. No. Number four is Pressure by Julia Wolf. Yeah, like I said earlier, um, Julia Wolf released this album. Um, I I started following her more recently, like I think late last year, and she released this album this year. And from the first singles I heard, I knew I was going to be into it. And yeah, the whole album is great for me. Again, like a heavier pop punk type vibe. She does switch it up a bit throughout to more, there's probably like more indie rockish vibes on there too, but overall it's a pretty heavy album. But yeah, I became a big fan of her work this year. She also has a very unique voice in my opinion. That stands out too. Julia Wolf.
Dope. It's all, and especially dope when you there's a consistent theme because I'm pretty sure you've always come on here and gave them a lot of credit and praise. So it's dope when your favorites are consistent. Spinning it back to you, Ghost.
Uh, Number three, this one was actually an artist that I had not heard before this year, but uh, The Dial by Your Grandparents. This was a super excellent, I call it neo soul R&B album, but I was really caught off guard because I had not heard them before. I think this was a Discover Weekly find, but it's like it's kind of between like there's some hip hop on it, um, some rapping, but mostly just kind of like the not really like heavy rapping, just kind of more melodic and R&B neo soul vibe. It was extremely enjoyable, like front to back. That entire project was excellent. Like I heard it the first time and immediately spanned it back. So just really, really well put together projects. I don't think I've had a chance to go through the rest of their stuff, but I was pleasantly surprised when I heard this.
Sick. And then the next for me, um, I don't think there's gonna be too much surprises because my favorite album is pretty in sync with my favorite song. So apologies for nothing too, again, surprising. But for me, at number three, I would say the Clips album, "Let God Sort 'Em Out." Yeah, I don't think I can just say enough about how dope of a project that Pusha T and Malice, Scooter Malice, put together. Yeah, it really just is a project that, on a lot of fundamental levels, just kind of satisfies or sorry exceeds expectations when it comes to what a hip hop project should entail. Like it had its rollout, it had its follow through, it had its singles that really hit that make you anticipate and want more. Um, Pusha T and Malice really, did it again. I mentioned it, but had a really decent rollout and kind of giving an insight in what the songs are about. So to that record, I believe it's the Birds record where they kind of give speak about their parents. Um, and yeah, it has concepts, it has themes, it has some of the better rapping, if not just output of verses uh, throughout the year or that came out this year. Yeah, I think again, everyone can have their opinions. Bar for bar, I don't think anyone's put more like attention to detail into their hip hop project this year. Um, and yeah, again, so to Pusha T, so to Clips. Ironically, I know this kind of probably sounds blasphemous at this point. I think the only thing that would have made the album like a tinge better, like maybe even push it up for me, would be it sucks that they fell out, but if it had a little Kanye uh intervention, I think it would have been just that one bar better. Because again, it sucks that they fell out, but when I think of songs like New God Flow and um, especially Uses Gospel, it kind of even matches the theme of this album. So, but that's just a random thing. Go ahead, Ace.
All right, I'm just gonna say that I wish Patience and Moonbeam by Great Grandpa was one of my favorites, just so we could have another grandparent based album. But no, my next one is um Bad Luck is Two Yellow Flowers by Theo Bleak. Um this was an EP that Theo Bleak released this year, and I think this year is when I discovered this artist. Or actually, I think it was late last year. It was one of those Spotify Lorem artist discoveries. But yeah, this is a Scottish I would say indie folk artist. Um and yeah, I mean that pretty much describes what their music sounds like. A little bit more atmospheric as well. Like there's a lot of space with the tracks that she creates. But yeah, this was just a short EP, and I think it packed a heavy punch. Um, the first track off of it was it almost made my top tracks list. And there's another kind of more pop leaning track on it that's a little bit heavier and more fast paced that I also love off of the album. But yeah, overall great album, and it's gonna take me forever to type this in. So again, Bad Luck is Two Yellow Flowers by Theo Bleak.
Perfect, perfect. And what are we at? Three. Okay, so spinning it back to you, Ghost.
Number two album of the year. Again, another one I wasn't really expecting, but I believe a French producer, Laji Mouflet. You can tell me if I'm butchering that production, Wes, but playing it Laji. So he's dropped a lot of Lucy singles over the past couple years, and I had no clue an actual product was coming out. And that product, to be fair, did have a lot of those singles on it. But this is an electronic album, and the the sheer amount of different sounds on this project and the range are kind of very interesting, but it all works and blends together super well. Like there's a lot of dance, some garage stuff on there. The closest equivalent that I can think of that has came out in recent years is Subtract, some of his newer stuff. Who's done some stuff with Sanfa, but yeah, this album was again extremely, extremely good, and like it was. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did, but it's just like a really eclectic mix of different subgenres of electronica that all worked really well together.
Is he really French? Is it?
I think so. I don't know like his whole
No,
background,
no,
bio,
sure.
but I'm fairly sure he's French.
No, because I'm on a mission to find really good French music. 'Cause it's not easy to
Yeah, it's
find.
there's like very little vocals on it, so uh
Okay.
he isn't
Oh, cool.
singing necessarily. He has four flags in his Instagram bio, one of which I think is a French flag, American. Is that the DR flag? I don't know. But yeah, seems like
Okay,
he is French to some capacity. He is a brother.
cool.
Fair enough. And following along for me, again, apologies for the lack of surprises, but next for me is A Jaguar's Dream by Jordan. Um, yeah. Again, I've kind of continually spoken about how I have just become fond of their music. Um, and the repeatability of the replayability is probably the better word. What do you even call it? The vibe, the way it makes you move. Yeah, it's just an all around like banger of a project. And yeah, I'm generally kind of curious since they're kind of like the newer artists out of all these artists of my favorite albums of the year. I actually haven't had a chance to really kind of see if they have interviews out because I'm interested in how they got inspired to make the kind of music they do. Obviously, it's nothing like super groundbreaking, but it is. They have been able to get a decent amount of virality because their sound. So that's probably one thing I'm probably gonna work on in the future. Just not work on, but like see if there's any content out there of their like upcoming. Because I mean, if they have a sound that they were kind of leaning into, I'd be interested to maybe find more. And I hope that they have the capabilities to produce more of the type of music that they make. Uh, yeah, all around, I just have nothing but super positive words for them. Go ahead, Ace.
All right. My number four is Oh wait, he did something weird. Hold up.
Who was you?
I think, Uh,
Oh, you said they
I
did
said
something weird.
yeah, yeah. Anomaly 4 by Wild Mangoes. So this is, I don't know, it seems to be a collection of EPs by Flawed Mangoes. But yeah, it has the um track I mentioned earlier, Palindrome, as well as another that Ghost brought earlier in the year, Surreal. And yeah, again, like he I got into him because of his acoustic um guitar stuff, but which is present on this collection. But yeah, as I said, he with the genres he was experimenting with here. And I love all of it, like all of it. He didn't, in my opinion, he doesn't have a bad track on here. So it says a lot about his range as an artist and what he could potentially get into in the future. Um, so yeah, again, Anomaly 4 by Flood Mangoes.
Sick, and now Wes finally getting you on the board. What's your second favorite album that came out this year?
So my number two is Jagged Heart, Post Heaven, the album that I
Makes
spoke
sense.
about earlier with the two tracks on my top tracks list. So again, yeah, the project front to back is pretty solid, and it just like I said, for me, it's kind of a nostalgic vibe with the grunge feel, and like I said, 2010 style indie-ish plus electronic sounds, just mixes well, mixes well.
Now, I really gotta check out some of these projects and songs that y'all playing because I'm assuming you're just kind of going with Spotify or whatever platform you're using says. When I think of grunge, the specific sound I'm gonna be looking for, so hopefully it matches the description.
Spotify, I don't think Spotify said that, but I put that particularly for this album because opening track it hits it perfectly. But some of it's more on the electronic side, some of it's more dream pop, might be better for the entire album, but this is what I put.
Got you. I'm rocking, I'm rolling. And then again, imagine a drum roll in your head from all the projects that came out in an entire 12-month cycle. Ghost What is the best album that you've heard in 2025?
This one would be Ego Trip by John Michael and Anthony James, which was also one of my few 5 star or 5 rating hip hop albums on the list. I listened to John Michael's last album a few years ago, a couple years ago. I think actually came out in 2023, and I enjoyed it then, but it didn't feel as tightly put together as it could be. Like there was some tracks they could have left out of it. But overall, I could see like the potential, and there was some that I really enjoyed. And I think this album just kind of took everything to another level with the cohesiveness. The production was a huge standout. Like a lot of the lyricism and interesting themes he explored of religion and anti-religion on the project, and a lot of stuff that was very reminiscent and inspired by Kanye, clearly, but he put his own little twist on it. So yeah, great album. It's good to know that with all the negativity I've had towards hip hop on the whole, as of late, as being the last few years, there's still like excellent products that are being put out like this. So I think this takes the cake for best project of the year, in my opinion.
I didn't remember the title, but we listened to that John Michael album, right?
Say it again.
I didn't remember the title, but we listened to that John Michael album, right?
Oh yeah. I think that's when me and you listened to.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously we're not here to really talk about other people's choices, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I know you thoroughly enjoyed it, and I definitely like when you're not 100% sure like what an album will sound like, when you just kind of consume it and it's just really bar for bar, like no misses. Yeah, I can understand why that would be somebody's favorite project of the year. Yeah, so it's John Michael 100%.
I have a dumb question. Is it Michael or is it
It
Michelle?
might be it
So-
might be Michelle, but he sounds very American, so I'm gonna go with
it's spelled like that
Mike.
though. That's the correct spelling.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that is correct spelling. He's was actually Philly based from Chicago. See, I'm assuming I can't remember if we actually like rappers will say their name or names on the
Right,
project.
right.
I can't remember if he's done that before, but yeah, I guess it could be either.
Number one for myself. No one's gonna be shocked by it. Salute to The Weekend with the Hurry Up Tomorrow project. I guess to get out the stuff you don't like to get out real quick. Oh, it's just not a perfect album. I think I was looking at the track list earlier, and like I remember like they got the Sao Paulo record, and then there's a song with Playboy Cardi, which they would have left that stuff off the project. But as far as a project that has records that I just thoroughly continue to replay and replay and replay and replay, this is definitely a project. And it's no surprise, obviously, when it comes to R&B. Um, the type of R&B that I really enjoy and consume, more like, I guess you call it contemporary, or that has a lot of synths in it, synthy R&B. Um, yeah, like The Weeknd's like the author of that, and the fact that they can continue to put out music that's reflective of that sound, it's just perfect. And again, and the same thing happened with the Jordan Brothers project, the Jaguar album. Like these are albums that came out like at the beginning of the year, like in January, and all the way to December, post 2025. I'm continuing to put the songs on and just let it rock again and again. Um, yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, I could probably go on and go on, and obviously I want to be concise, but yeah, the obviously the Drive song, like I mentioned, is probably my favorite song of the year. Um, but there's also ones that kind of get into an even darker vibe. I believe Red Terror is a song that's it pisses me off. Like the actual song is only like a minute and change. It's like like you could have let the beat rock a little more. Just keep at least humming on it a little. And then there's a song that kind of has a more like Caribbean vibe, which you would think would make it like garbage awful, but he still kind of puts together well in what you call this? What is it? What is it called? Hurt Me. Let me pull it up because I really like that record. Uh, oh, Give Me Mercy. Sorry, I was Hurt Me. Yeah, Give Me Mercy is another song that I definitely played back to back to back. And then even just even the intro is really good. Again, if we're looking for a project that has like a specific kind of theme to it, a vibe to it, which I tend to like is my favorite projects, this is gonna be the project for you. And yeah, um, umpteen years later, like whenever the Weeknd puts out an album, it's probably going to be my favorite album of the year. So it's for the consistency and yeah. And then last, but again, the great, not least, but the greatest. What is your favorite album of 2025? Was
You miss me.
oh,
I thought I was assuming for a second.
Oh, I was wondering why you said last, but
my bad. My brain is moving faster than my mouth. My bad.
It's all good. So my favorite album of the year is Welcome to My Blue Sky by Mama. Um, so I think this is another artist that I discovered last year. Um, their previous release was pretty good. It had a track or two on it that I really liked, but I wasn't too sure what to expect from this next one. But yeah, based on the singles, I had a feeling I was gonna like it a lot. It's pretty much just straight indie rock. Um, and yeah, I think off of every single, like I was super hype about the album. And yeah, when it dropped, it was pretty much just an instant. Yeah, it's probably gonna be my favorite of the year. Like damn near every track is great. Um, I also went to see them live and they performed their butts off live. So just everything about the album and the artist is just they're making some very very solid indie rock. Um, what else was I gonna say? Oh, some of my favorite tracks, which again they probably could have made it onto my top tracks of the year, but I wanted a little bit more variety. But I Want You Fever has like it's almost like a teen movie anthem type track. Last Kiss gave me I can't there was some band or some song that it reminded me of. Can't remember it right now, but it's super heavy track. Um, but yeah, just I can only say good things about it. Definitely my top for the year, easily.
Did you bring any tracks from this on the weekly albums?
I'm pretty sure I did bring Last Kiss.
Okay, just curious.
Oh my gosh.
Check it out.
I should have wore the shirt, the merch that I got. But yeah. All right, you could go us.
all right, cool. Um, so for me, my number one, not a surprise, is Saint Seneca's High Wallow and Supermoon songs. Um, yeah, pretty much whenever they drop, I listen. And like I said, pretty much every project I could play, almost front to back and enjoy. Um, yeah, it's just very, very excellent. Definitely my favorite folk band.
Nice. I just had an idea. Maybe we should or could next time like change the font color of the cells and then fill it all in and then just like make the cell color transparent as we go through it so that we don't have to type it as we go through it.
Oh,
You know, I
you like
was
make
I
it
was
black?
thinking that I was actually thinking
So we
something very
reveal it.
similar.
Yeah.
Scratch it off.
Hey man,
I
So
I
was
it's
like I like ideas, and that would make the process a bit quicker.
But the copy paste is not bad. Want to
where are
do
you copying and pasting from?
my own spreadsheet.
Nice, I like that.
Suppose you could. I'm doing this on the phone though.
Oh,
We'll play around
oh,
with ideas,
what? That sounds very complicated.
and obviously it doesn't have to be one and all. And as long as you have your stuff properly presented, then or properly recorded, you can do it however you want. But moral of the story is, through all the music that we've consumed throughout 2025, again, um, these are the records, the albums that we would put our cosign on as the must listens to. We replayed it heavily. We enjoyed it thoroughly. We, you know, super look forward to hearing more from these artists. Um, yeah, all around. And to cap off music, obviously we've talked about our favorite songs. We've talked about our favorite albums. You know, back to back, week on a weekly basis. We bought tons of records that we enjoyed and think other people would enjoy. We listened to literally practically every album that came out throughout the year. And at the culmination of that, I'm curious to know who you guys would give the MVP, that artist that was averaging triple doubles is just back to back. Who would y'all say is y'all favorite artist of this or of 2025? Start with you guys.
So I have an artist, but first a couple of honorable mentions for artists that I listened to a ton this year, just didn't drop an album that technically came out this year, so I couldn't put them on the list. Um, 2021 Garage artist, breakcore, all this stuff was fantastic. Nellis and Afro was one of my tops of the last year. Still playing that album on the daily. Floaty, super great math rock. But best album of the best artist of the year, in my opinion, was LEG. I've glazed him plenty, but is like again found him like less than 3 months ago. And he's already my top artist of the year. Like I very rarely find myself in like a borderline obsessive state listening to tracks over and over and artists over and over, but he is one of the few exceptions where I will play albums front to back and just kind of like re-listen to things over and over. Tons of lines that I will constantly think about and that I think are extremely dope, clever. Yeah, shout out LEG.
On brand, makes sense. Um, for me, I'll try to make it relatively quick. We already know it's gonna be. They put out my favorite album. They are the most consistent artist, probably out of my entire like favorite of artists. I guess Lupe is also up there as far as super consistent artist. Yeah, the Weeknd's top artist for me for this year. They put an album. It stayed good throughout the year. It's probably will continue to stay good. I have faith that the next time they put out an album, I'm gonna enjoy it. And yeah, they also have the numbers to back up their success. Uh, yeah, I have nothing really negative to say except I hope they put out a mixtape or an EP in between the next project because, yeah, no, they should keep that. Just keep the momentum going. Just keep the foot on the necks of everyone else with your numbers. Go ahead, Wes. I guess we switched up for these categories for some
Yeah.
reason.
Um, for me, it's gonna be Saint Seneca. Um, by the way, this is their first album since 2018, and honestly, I hardly notice the gap, except for the fact that every time a single drops or a Lucy, I do listen in. But because of the fact that I spin their albums all the time, uh, it wasn't that noticeable. But it was just a very satisfying drop, and for the amount of time it took to still be releasing music that is of the same quality is impressive. So
Fair enough. And last but not least, Ace, who would you give that most valuable player award? Who is your favorite artist of 2025?
I am going to go with Rip Swirl. I could have easily gone with like Mama or Blood Mangoes, but like I said, this dude is just such a great producer, and like truly everything he's been touching has been gold to me. Um, any collaborations that he does, even his solo stuff, he has some great work on his own. So yeah, I hope he continues to um put out music in the next year. Um, more collabs, more just awesome trip hop. Like bring it back or keep it alive.
And there you have it. Those are our artists that we've been either listening to the most, enjoying the most, or just, thoroughly enjoyed every time they dropped. Moving outside of just straight up music, we have our top movies of the year. For some of these other categories, we don't necessarily need a whole top five, so we typically have the single cell. But if you guys do have more than one, definitely feel free to alter the cells to include one. I know we have in the previous years. But speaking on favorite movies for 2025, I don't think it's going to be too much outside of what we all kind of were talking about previously, in so much that you might be able to do a copy paste ghost, but no, maybe one of y'all are throw a curveball. What is your favorite movie of this 2025? You want to say this year, but not this year.
Yeah, no surprises here. I did not watch much movies this year, but the one major film release that I did watch in theaters, and it was as excellent as it was hyped up to be, maybe even more so, was Sinners. Shout out Ryan Coogler.
You can just keep copy and pasting it down my way, because Sinners is gonna
Yeah.
be my favorite movie as well. Oh, it can be yours. Got him. Sorry,
Exactly.
talk about Wes.
Shamefully. Not shamefully. I
You still
don't
watch
know
after the
because
podcast. What's wrong with you?
however, for me, it's gonna be Frankenstein by Guillermo del Toro. Well, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Um, it just had to be. Honestly, as I mentioned before, it is very different from the book, which I love.
The original
And
book?
yeah, by Mary Shelley.
Did anybody think it
Um,
would be? Whenever I hear the author's name, I remember I did research on them. I like know some of their like life story. Those those writers and authors from that period of time, they just had such whimsical lives. Got married, it didn't work out, so they went traveling abroad, met some other writer while they were traveling, had a kid.
true,
Sorry.
especially the romantics and yeah. But yeah, I love the book and I love Guillermo del Toro, so I was bound to like it. The changes that were made were at points significant, and they portrayed the way that Guillermo del Toro thinks more so than Mary Shelley, and which is fine. And I think he did it really well. He did what he does well as far as the characters, the character design and monster design, landscapes. Yeah, it looked very good, and yeah, it was a satisfying take on Frankenstein. So it's gonna be the number one for me.
True. And you, Ace?
Yeah, I mean, honorable mentions, companion, weapons.
You saw
Wait, what?
Weapons?
Yeah, I did see
What was the
weapons,
I
first
feel.
one?
I feel. I'm sorry.
companion.
I
If
feel
I
as if you
say
never talked.
anything about it, it kind of gives
I
it
feel as
away.
if you never talked. Oh.
I no, I just saw, I just watched both of those last night.
Oh. Okay.
So,
Oh,
Damn,
just to
he was
see
trying
if
to
they
find
will
some
bump
bangers at the
out.
last minute.
Yep, yep, yeah. But yeah, no, Sinner still takes it.
Damn, I want to hear your take on. Sorry to move past it. I want to hear your take on weapons later because I heard it had a little motion and some.
I don't want
Yeah,
any spoilers. I don't want to know anything about that movie because I want to watch it. But
Yo, spoiler culture is such a dub, man. Fair enough. Anyway, um, yeah, we can just kind of copy that and paste it in. There it goes. Or where was that? Fair enough. Well, I don't know what y'all fully take on movies this year was. I don't know if I was in the theater that much. The only things I really remember was Sinners, and I recently watched Now You See Me or Now You Don't 3. But I go to the movies a good decent bit with my wife because they like theater and movie theater popcorn. So, I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to waste time. I was gonna talk about some of the movies that came out, but moving right along. I don't know. Maybe shows is what kept y'all attention, this year. What TV shows and this day and age is really streaming shows to be honest. Uh, was y'all's favorite for 2025? I'll start with you, Ghost.
I didn't watch a ton of shows this year, and there are some I might be forgetting one or two that were excellent. But shows that came out this year, I think the clear and obvious top pick for me is Common Side Effects, which was an Adult Swim show made by the creators of Scavenger's Reign. So that was already a very heavy point in the show's favor. And it was an interesting kind of sci-fi-ish show that um I mean it's like kind of varied the themes and stuff it discusses and goes over it. I won't get into too many details, but it was very excellent. I didn't love the way the season ended, but it um still left a good amount to be explored whenever season two comes around, which I'm hoping it will at some point. But very, very good show.
Dope, dope. For me, well, I haven't been typically doing this, but I do have a couple of honorable mentions, and I almost felt compelled to put Sakamoto Days just because the show got so much like, in my opinion, random hate. But for me, and I haven't fully been engrossed in the manga yet, um, it was a pretty dope adaptation. Like, and it's crazy because there's been so much controversy and just discussion regarding anime studios this year because there are some shows. If I don't know if y'all have peeped or are hip to the One Punch Man controversy, but like that animation studio is like completely like ruining that show. People are saying there was some talks about obviously by and large One Piece does a great job, but there have been some scenes where it's kind of sucky and just not great adaptations of what the manga did. But Sakamoto Days, I just remember watching it and I just enjoyed it. Like again, maybe is if you're hard stuck on the original source material, which I typically I do like things to stick to source material. Um, that maybe it was like faulty in some regards, but I'm just looking at it, and as someone that consumes a decent amount of anime, like I've watched animes where they're like, there's too much downtime, there's obvious like filler, like pardon me, like animation is kind of sloppy here, just like they're doing obvious things to pad or just make the show like less enjoyable. Sakamoto Day doesn't do any of that. It's consistently good, in my opinion. So I really felt compelled to put it. But I'll just give it an honorable mention. Another honorable mention. Speaking of animes, that last season of that just recently wrapped up with My Hero Academia, it was a masterpiece. I think. Well, I'm not gonna give it my favorite show of the year. I think it had one of my favorite scenes of this year. Um, yeah, would it be spoiling to say it? Everything's happening on that last fight, but it had one of my favorite scenes and sequences of the year, and they just did such a great job. And it's so crazy because, as anyone know, there was a time which I would do nothing but clown My Hero. But the fact that they really brought that series together and the fact that they executed the anime well to the point where everybody gave it pretty much their standing ovation. Huge amounts of credits are deserved to the author, the anime studio, and that show in general. But my favorite show of this year is not necessarily anime, not necessarily anime. Surprisingly, the King of the Hill reboot, what else? What other reads are? The comeback. Um, and really, it's because honestly, it was just surprisingly solid. Like whenever a show comes back from being in hiatus or just MIA for a while, like you kind of not kind of expecting it to be really good. But King of the Hill came back, even with like some of the important art VAs passing away, unfortunately. Even through like production issues, like they came back and they put out just classically like King of the Hill humor. Watch it was just like I don't know. I don't want to go on a rant about King of the Hill because it kind of feels like this in the same vein of like somebody that came on here and said, "Yeah, this season of Family Guy was really good." But I thoroughly enjoyed the fact that they were able to bring back the show, and it's not just me. I was looking at what other people were saying about it, and other people thoroughly enjoyed it again. Obviously, there were some um, definitely you feel a gap in or the space in the some of the previous characters that were on the show but now aren't on the show because their VAs passed away. But and some VAs, some characters got new VAs, but I think they just did a really well job. They like you don't they kind of had to blend it in with like the the nuances. Like they have to bring it to a modern era, so they're dealing with modern era problems. But I think they did it really well, and yeah, I just remember watching it on a relatively routine basis, and I haven't done that in a while, so even that was interesting for me. So yeah, salute to the King, salute to Mike Judge, salute to King Hill cast, and they got what's it called? They got some additional seasons lined up, so maybe next year I'll be coming back, or whenever they drop, I'll be coming back saying, yeah, this is my favorite show for that year too. But for right now, yeah, King Hill is the best of 2025 for me.
Nice. So for mine, if I
Stew?
realized,
So good.
Jesus,
The
I
order's
forgot the
different. That's
order
why.
gets messed up.
No, if you want.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
All right. Um,
Or doesn't necessarily matter in the
for
grand scheme of
me,
things, to be honest.
yeah. For me, there was a Netflix series called The Residents that was quite good. It was a murder mystery that takes place. I can say it's not a spoiler in the White House, and it had Udoba in it. Aduba. I don't know how to say her name. Giancarlo Esposito, Isaiah Whitlock Jr. was also in it. Um, yeah, it had humor to it, but it was also this is a really well done murder mystery short series. I think it's just maybe like 10 episodes, but yeah, it was good. It was good, very good.
That's good to know. Um, our sister has like this thing with Netflix where we get to
Oh,
watch shows what before they air, like and review them. And this is one of the shows that we watched like the first episode, but it wasn't. It was like a even the pre-pilot version where some of the
okay,
What is
like
that, Netflix
animation
Plus?
whatever wasn't done yet.
that's crazy.
Um, I don't know how she got it. I think they just emailed her and she signed up for it or whatever. Yeah, good to know it actually turned out to be a good show. All right. And then mine, so yeah, I was gonna say if I realized that Invincible season 3 came out this year, I probably would have prioritized actually finishing it, but I only watched the first episode so far. So I cannot quite bring that in good conscience. Um, and besides that, the only other series that I wait a second. Okay. K-pop Demon Hunters is definitely an honorable mention for movies as well. But
Oh
yeah,
my god.
all right. Now besides Invincible, I think the only thing I watched that came out this year was a documentary. Um so the doc that I
Hopefully you
watched,
enjoyed it.
oh yeah, it was great. It was great. It's a true crime documentary. I think it was called American Murder Gabby Petito. So basically about this streamer who was like just getting started with doing like a live um kind of like travel vlog. She was living in a van with her boyfriend, and they were going to travel across the either the whole US or at least the western US. um and yeah, I mean, spoiler alert, she was murdered. And the what I felt was unique about the documentary is that there was so much footage, because she was a vlogger. So there was so much footage leading up to her death. And then and yeah, of course, the manhunt to try to figure out who killed her and why and all that stuff was compelling as well. So um I will also say real quick, Netflix got into hot water because they used AI for her voice narrating some of her texts, like text messages, which I did find to be a bit uncanny for them to do. Um, but yeah, overall, still a very compelling documentary. And I forgot about this. I thought it was a series, but it was just a single documentary film. It was called Unknown Number: The High School Catfish. Um, if you want to just watch an insane, like truly insane documentary with a shocking twist, that I don't think anybody would ever guess because of how they filmed it, I definitely recommend checking that out.
I think I've seen clips of the twist, which obviously don't spoil it, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
On that AI front, it's interesting that's what happened, and you mentioned that because I feel as if that is one of the cases for why companies would move forward with AI because it alleviates obviously the need to hire talent and you can substitute AI for some of that stuff. But the problem that some of these AI, I don't know what happened Netflix is running into, but the problem is they're using AI models of like people, and obviously people, content creators can sign their voice away, quote unquote, or lease it out for use. But sometimes they
Mhm.
don't. But sometimes even these large corporations won't do it like officially, or they'll use ones that aren't they shouldn't be using. I think I came on the platform and talked about how Konami, who runs Yu-Gi-Oh as well as like Metal Gear Solid and other gaming franchises, they use an AI model, or they use an AI to do competition commentary. But then the company that's responsible for the AI sued them because the specific AI that they're using was from some woman. Um, that woman like did a copyright strike on the company, and that woman was from like an adult entertainment like game or something like that. So
Mm.
like companies are using AI in hopes to like alleviate the cost of having real talent, but then they're just bumping into legal issues or controversy. So it doesn't really even make any sense.
Yeah. Good point.
But regardless, so those are our top shows of the year. Definitely, as you can see, which kind of comes out in a lot of times where we talk about our favorites or our list of things. There's definitely a variety of things. You got uh, cartoons, you got documentaries, you got adult swim type entertainment. So I guess ours is not too far off. Obviously, Common Side Effects is way weirder than King of the Hill, but our guitars aren't too far off, Ghost. Moving right along, we have other content types, and yes, that sounds a bit ambiguous, but we leave it like that, and so we can have that feels for things that are not movies, not shows, not albums, but other pieces of content that we consume throughout the year that we believe is worth coming out here and talking about. I think historically we use it for like books, manga. Do we also put like YouTube series? I'm trying to think if we've ever used that for. Um, games, video games, podcasts. So just to name a few. But go ahead.
Uh,
But go ahead, Ghost.
hmm, also, there's a duplicate here, but
I think you did intentionally.
West gets to do two.
You can do.
oh,
You can do how many you want.
uh,
I have a
I'm kind of
reason,
struggling.
but
I'm kind of struggling to find one, but I think
Hopefully, you're not trying to find it right now.
yeah.
Hopefully, you would have known.
I was
it's true.
debating it, but yeah, I think my other content type is going to be a book that I've read this year. It's not come out this year, and it's autobiography by Dick Gregory, which I have mentioned this one on the pod before. But
Yep.
how do we do this? We say what the type is, and then we do the title, I think. And it is I'm gonna have to censor part of it. But despite the inflammatory title, this was one of the best autobiographies I've ever read. Not really from like a writing standpoint, because I don't read nonfiction that often, and when I do, I don't read it for the writing prowess. But just the storytelling in this book, the way it contextualizes some certain things, like the experiences and the um, reasoning and rationale behind why certain decisions are made, as far as like, and to give an example for him specifically, like he was a civil rights leader, but he was also a comedian, and it gives a lot of background onto like how he ended up going that route and how he could employ some aspects of his life, like comedy and other things, into the civil rights and how he incorporated it. It was very fascinating and just truly well put together book. And the title makes a ton of sense once you read it. But yeah, again, extremely good. Shout out to Carmel Anthony's podcast. I can't remember the name of it, but that's how I came about. Uh, how why I checked it out, because it came up there, and I was intrigued. But yeah, very very good book.
So, like, let's power to a whole legend. For me, I'm playing it safe this year and going with the manga. I think that's what I typically go with. And I was thinking about it, and I think I did a quick check. I think there are only two manga series that came out this year, or relative this year, that I either got into or, um, like really consumed this year. And for me, it ended up being Shinobi Undercover. And I say nothing too out of the ordinary because, in the grand scheme of things, it's not like it's not anything too revolutionary. Obviously, by name. If I think I talked about it front on the podcast, but if you don't recall, it's about ninjas and like especially like quote unquote young ones, um, and yeah, but it covers like the action base. It covers characters that you will rock with for the most part. And I think again, it is the best of the two, so it's not super like overwhelming. But I think it's definitely a series that I can't wait for it to get animated. So I think that's why I would give it a lot of credit. And it's definitely a series that I've thoroughly enjoyed. It's one of those series where like, so I read my manga like weekly, and I kind of just go through it. I'm not necessarily best to last, but like you kind of structure out order after time. And at first when I was reading it, it was like a series where like, okay, well, not necessarily get it out. Let me get it out the way, but like, okay, it's on my list, so I'm gonna continue to stick with it. I'm a completionist, if you will. But over time, it really just became like, oh, I can't wait to get to it, and I think that's why I would be foolish to not say that it's one of my favorite other content throughout this year. Just a series that is super going on me. Again, as an MC that I can rock with, and yeah, I guess I can't wait to get animated. I can come out here and say it was one of my favorite shows of the year. Okay.
Nice.
What do you got?
Gotcha. For me, I did a twofer. Reason being the first one, which did it had more impact on me than the second one, but it was written in the late 1600s, so I want to try to give something that's a little bit more contemporary as well, which also was a significant read this year.
The late sixteen
Um,
hundreds. What is it
yeah.
written in
Uh,
hieroglyphs?
oh, it's in English and it's John Milton. Samson Agonistes, the same one who wrote Paradise Lost. This one is the story of Samson. And I realize I really like these types of works where they'll take uh, either usually a biblical story or a classical story, and they'll rework it. I also like the Oscar Wilde's Salome, and yeah, just stuff like this, and Paradise Lost itself. Um, but uh, but yeah, I really enjoy it, and I really enjoy his writing. I really enjoy the way that it highlights the particularities of the story, um, and makes you really think about them, as well as yeah, just the poetry of his writing. It's like it's so good, so good. So that was a highlight. And then the other one I had already mentioned before, that it was the Lost World of Genesis 1. And it gets into the way that the uh the story in Genesis of creation and everything was more than likely, or there's an explanation in which it's more functionally concerned than materially concerned, because normally we think of creation as being your physical material creation, but it also has as much to do with putting things in functional, giving things their functional role, and how that can impact the way that you read the text, and how it can also be a highly valid, highly useful way of looking at Genesis 1, or the beginning of Genesis. So, yeah, that was super interesting as well. Highly recommend them both.
Fair enough. Good to know you've been
Nice.
consistent.
Yeah.
Been reading.
Started the John H. Walton. I still need to get back to it.
Which one was
And
that?
the John H. Walton, the Lost World of
Oh, you did
Genesis.
start. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
nice.
Still need to get back to it, but yeah, I definitely think it was compelling to as its premise was very
Yeah,
compelling.
premise.
Um, yeah, I'm definitely gonna read more John Milton. Good to know. All right. So mine now. So my first one, I'll go with I'm gonna go with Ninja Gaiden 2, even though this game came out in
That is
I
not
don't know,
hard for
like
you on
20
25.
2008 or something. But yeah, this
Wait, did
game
they do
is
a
like
re-release this year?
they did actually, yeah, they did Ninja
Wow,
Gaiden 2
Saved by
Black.
the Bell.
Yeah, 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 that's true. And really this was kind of the year of Ninja Gaiden in general. Um they I think they released 4 games basically this year. But yeah, Ninja Gaiden 2 came out a long time ago on the Xbox 360, and through much research, I found that the 360 version is like um the definitive and edition in all of the fans' eyes, like the original 360 release. So I went back and brushed off my Xbox 360, got the game, and it is so freaking good. It might I would say Bayonetta is like my favorite game of all time, the first one,
Wait, wait,
but
wait,
this
wait.
one,
Yeah, how did you get the game?
bought it online.
And you bought the actual disc, and
Yeah, yeah,
it's you got it. Okay. Okay.
yeah,
What
yeah.
was it a brick?
I mean a brick. Oh no, 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 no. It wasn't that much, like $30 or something.
That's that.
Um,
I don't get why some games like you go try to buy like an old like Pokemon game for the Game Boy Advance and it runs like hundreds of dollars for some reason.
yeah, that's true. I think it just depends on the how in demand
Especially if
they
you want
are.
like you probably like the new sealed one, did you?
No, no.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and it was kind of funny, like trying to boot it up because like there's I wanted to get like the DLC, all of the DLC for it, and Xbox Live, like the original Xbox Live, the 360 Xbox Live or whatever, it still exists, but um signing into it was like super. It was a process
I
to
know
get
for a
back
fact I
onto it.
would have given up. At some point in this process, I would have given up. Or I would have found the
Yeah,
emulator. I'm not gonna
yeah.
lie.
But yeah, it was funny. But either way, the game itself, like, it's a basically a third person action, like character action game, very similar to a Bayonetta or a Devil May Cry. But yeah, I was gonna say Bayonetta is probably my favorite game of all time, but this is like really scratching the surface of getting to that point. I need to do more playthroughs of it on the harder difficulties, but like the thing I love probably the most about it is the enemy design. Like they are so punishingly like um unrelenting and trying to kill you. They they just keep coming. There's a lot of them, and even though they're generally like pretty weak, just the fact that they can surround you basically at all times. They have like very cheap like spammable moves that you really have to learn like the flow of combat and how to use your like iframes to get out of things and like which moves are invincible and when to use them. It's just it has a very specific flow to it and always keeps you on your feet. I will say like there are some downsides to it, like the some of the bosses are pretty annoying to fight where it's just you have to do the same thing over and over. Some like the bigger boss fights. Um and like some of the enemies are a little more one note just based on because of the things you can or can't do to them, but yeah, overall like those downsides just kind of get washed away by how exhilarating the game is to play um pretty much at all times. It's just so freaking good. um so yeah, this definitely had to go up there, and I think the general consensus is this is the best game in the series. I still do want to go through the rest of the games. Ninja Gaiden 3, Razor's Edge, and Ninja Gaiden 4, which just came out this year, which would have been a more appropriate pick if I got to it. But yeah, I had to put one of the games on there because yeah, Ninja Gaiden 2 is so freaking good. Um, so that's my first one. And then my second recommendation, which I could basically, I have two that are kind of interchangeable here, but I'm gonna give it to Mindfulness in Plain English, a book that I briefly mentioned in a recent episode. English. Um, so so this is, you could call it a self-help book. It's basically raw dog raw dogging boredom with intention. so,
Yeah.
so basically it teaches you how to meditate and what like your goal should be while you're doing it, and like the ultimate goal of meditation and how it can help transform your life as you learn to like apply its principles to just like your everyday mental state. um so I read this book um pretty early in the year, and I would say like the biggest benefit to me in terms of trying to actually apply its principles and trying to learn how to meditate and things like this was that I found that I gained a lot of my focus back that I feel social media, YouTube, etc., kind of um uh stripped away at. And then also just in general, like being being like content or at peace without constantly having to have um something on in the background, like an audiobook or music or whatever, just like um being good in my own head. Like that was something that, again, I feel like I had when I was younger, and with all of the media that we are generally like um consumed with, um it's something that I feel I lost, and it's nice to be able to get back. So even like going to sleep, I used to always have to listen to something to go to sleep, listen to music or whatever. I don't really need that anymore because I have the ability to calm my mind when I want to. So yeah, I recommend that one. The I would say honorable mention would be another book, The Power of Now, by Eckhart Tolle. That was the one that I could pretty much be interchangeable with this one. It's an essentially similar concept, but not specific to meditation. Just uh, applying the same principles to your everyday life.
Is one of the strats for calming your mind, especially when you're trying to go to sleep? Does it say anything about numbers or doing math?
I do believe that is a strategy that people do. In fact, I probably tried it
I
before.
just I just bring that say that to bring that up or bring that up to say that's one of the strats that I use or would use if I'm trying to go to sleep without listening to content. And it's interesting. Maybe we can further talk about this one day because like I think about these things sometimes, but in the same vein, it's not necessarily. I kind of am at the point in my life where but I have strats and ways to do these things, but I just don't have any desire. Like a big one that comes up is like how, like humans are kind of programmed to like when we eat, we have to be consuming something, and that's something like I'm in the same basket, but so I was thinking about, oh, do I really need this, and what would I do in lieu of it, and things like that. So it seems kind of interesting, like to know, do these things kind of inherently have a problem with them? Is it no issue that we kind of live like this? And the sleeping is a big one because like there are some nights where like or some times where like obviously I have strats in which I can like put myself to sleep using like non concert or non audio based things. But if I'm just trying to get sleep because I know I have like a busy day tomorrow, I'm gonna do something and get sleep the fastest. But yeah, that's a conversation for another
Yeah,
time.
yeah. And just real quick, like I will say, it's hard to say whether or not there's a quote unquote problem with these things, like being compelled to consume content, like you said, when you're eating, you want to watch something or do something at the same time. But for me, I'm trying to get away from things that are compulsive and do things in a more intentional way. So that I feel that's what it's definitely helped.
Makes absolute positive
There,
sense.
yeah. I mean, there are not again, not to go too deep into it, but yeah, there are problems with it because they've done studies and things where like if you're eating and you're watching something, your body actually digests differently. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff like related to being distracted. Plus the fact that you lose your short-term uh, or you reduce your short-term memory, you reduce your decision-making capacity, quick decision-making type stuff. There's a whole bunch of reasons to try to get away from being pulled into or having your attention taken away uh, almost unintentionally just because of some habit that you fall into.
I get it. Fair enough. Well, it seemed like this year we broadly were consuming books, mangas, which is basically books and games that we would come on here and say are our favorite other kinds of types. But definitely, if you are into any of these mediums, definitely check them out. And next we have our top content creators. Yes, We like to give shout outs to those content creators that have either put out content that we've consistently gone back to, or just put out that those one or two pieces that we thoroughly enjoyed. Obviously, these, at least for me, tend to be like streamers or like content creators on YouTube, but it can also expand to like, maybe you have an author, director, or writer that you feel deserves some level of credit that put out your favorite piece of content or favorite pieces of content throughout 2025. It could also be it could also, going back to podcasts, it could also be a podcast, or any other mediums they could be in. I'm sure y'all can think of more than I can think of, but we'll start off with you, Ghost. Who's your favorite or top content creator for 2025?
For what I believe is the fifth year running, pretty much the entirety of the time we've been doing this. It's going to be my boy Athletic Alchemy, who creates sports analysis content. I guess is the easiest way to describe it. He puts out like breakdowns on a day-to-day basis for NBA games, specifically for the Golden State Warriors, who weren't really my favorite team, but the way he breaks it down is so in-depth and entertaining that it just I enjoy watching him every day after a game. And he also puts out a ton of stuff on YouTube. And the way he breaks it down isn't just from like a nerdy technical analysis standpoint, like it's from someone who's not an NBA player, but is in the gym playing basketball on a daily basis. So he has like that type of insight into certain things. And he's also like, he also likes to cloud on folks a lot, like hairlines, and the dude's looking ugly. He's gonna bring it up, which it can be a little juvenile, but at the same time, it's pretty hilarious. And it's like my exact type of
Jalen
humor that
Brown
I,
syndrome.
yeah, that I find very funny. Um, yeah, it's been dope to see him go from like I started watching like in 2017, and from then till now, he's been able to make this like his full-time job. I've been subscribed to the Patreon for like $2 a month for the past 7, 8 years, however long it's been. So again, I don't know him personally, but it's just like vicariously like seeing like someone that you've been following for a long time kind of have this type of success and continue to put out excellent content. It's very dope to see. And yeah, again, a lot of the stuff he puts out is free on like YouTube, like recap videos and stuff like that for stuff around the league. So I greatly enjoy it.
Dope. For me, I have a twofer. Not the copy and paste one because I'm not gonna remember to spell these. The con, yeah, Paintopedia plus Peachopedia. Yeah, so to his brother, it's the same content creator. They just have two channels. One kind of does more so on Pokemon. One is more Mario Nintendo based properties, RPs. Yeah, you know me. I love analysis, lore related videos, deep dives into a particular kind of subject in the game in the world of gaming, and yeah, I would say for this year, obviously my YouTube recap might go to other artists, other content creators, but as far as like the ones that I've enjoyed the most and appreciated the most is definitely this brother. And the reason why I have to give them top content creators, y'all know me. I'm always watching a stream or a YouTube video. The reason why I got to give them is because they have an amazing level of consistency. Like they literally put out videos for both channels every week. In the world of content creation, where you like, I'm nowhere near any of this, but I understand that. I understand what it looks like when you have to like edit, even like, even if you're making a short edit, but it takes from like multiple games, and you have to have a specific scene that can take upwards of hours. Scripting is something that a lot of content creators vocalize is something that takes a little while. Again, yeah, that great editing where you can capture exactly what you want. And again, doing it consistently week on week, making it concise but as in depth as need be. yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of the more I go into content creation and putting out content myself, even though I do the most lowest brow content creation, just taking a piece of your higher of your full podcast and putting it out. Um, I really get an appreciation for people that are consistent and are very on point um with their editing and stuff like that. Like I'm at the point where like obviously it doesn't detract away from the quality, but I can like peep when a person makes like a small bluff in their editing. But this brother's been on point bar for bar. And again, kind of speaking to what we're speaking to, even though it can have negative impacts, I thoroughly enjoy when I'm trying to wind down or decompress or even kind of pass out sometimes, even though that might be a negative connotation to some people. I can definitely, this has been a content creator I can throw their content on and enjoy while I'm going in the direction of peacefulness. So for that, I definitely have to give them some credit. And for the type of oops, I don't know why I'm typing there. For the type of content they put out, I'll just say like video game analysis.
Is that supposed to be Paintopedia?
I just literally just double checked it. That's how you spell it. Yep. Wikipedia.
Piontopedia.
Yeah, Piontopedia.
Interesting.
Okay. Um, for me, uh, it's gonna be Marvin Music, the channel, the YouTube channel. Specifically the
Makes
videos made
sense.
by Danny Rabin, and it's a channel. I mean, it's a music group. Specifically two dudes who play jazz fusion. I'm not that into fusion. Never have been. Uh, they're really good, but it's not really my thing. But his takes on music are absolutely hilarious. He makes shorts, and sometimes he'll argue. I mean, state his case that people shouldn't be listen to bad music because it's like eating bad food. Um, and it's just he has a sense of humor that's quite. It's kind of dated. It's like earlier 2000s type humor that seems like should get him canceled. Certain things that he says and the way he says them, but at the same time, the reason that I watch his channel so much is that he does make educational jazz lesson videos, which have his similar humor in it, and he'll like shame me for not knowing stuff and everything. And there's kind of a dogma to it, which I really appreciate when I'm learning, especially jazz. Like I appreciate people like Barry Harris because of the dogma, because they say you're learning it wrong, like they're teaching it to you wrong. Do it this way. You got to do it this way because this is how the greats did it. Whatever it might be. Whether I agree with them or not, I think that having a dogma when it comes to music is useful. But besides that, he is one of the few teachers who show you like the basics, but show you him doing those things that you need to know, like those essential things that you need to know in a way like, yeah, I'll give an example. Like when he learns a tune, he'll learn the changes and everything, and he'll do like etudes over the tune, but he'll do them on the fly. And it's like him playing almost like a classical music etude on the fly and saying, you have to be able to do this. If you don't know how to do this, you're never going to be able to get beyond this point. And so it's impressive. And because of that, it lends credibility to what he's saying as well. And so I think just like going back to basics on certain things and filling in the gaps in what I know or what I don't know, and noting to myself, okay, I need to work on this really a lot. Is super useful. But yeah, he has a great channel, and I recommend it to anybody who is learning music, but he's more specifically obviously jazz focused, but specifically guitar focused as well. But I think it could transfer to other instruments as well. And as far as his music takes, but some of them are just funny. If you listen to jazz at all or kinda are tapped in, he'll he'll make it like he'll roast different instruments and stuff and personalities and stuff and yeah, just great content, and quite a bit of it for what it's worth.
Dope.
Nice. All right. Everybody had what I feel to be higher brow recommendations of what I'm or top content creators and what I'm about to say. I gotta go with Drewski for mine. Um,
Oh
this
my
was
god.
Smoothie Drewski.
this was the year when I finally like I don't know, I just came across a lot of his content this year. Maybe starting with the Hebrew Israelite sketch thing that he did. Um, but I don't even know.
What do
He
you
does
mean? What skits
what was skits? All right, the
or
skits.
comedy?
Yeah, right,
One of those.
comedy skit. Um, yeah, so his little shorts or skits of him going around impersonating whoever, like he did a white face one where he was impersonating like a country bumpkin at like a NASCAR race or something like that. He's just done a ton, and like he really is great at his impersonations. Like he gets super into every character that he does. It's actually impressive and also hilarious with the content that he's making. But there's that, and then also he does that competition show or whatever, which is
Oh, could have
just
been records.
Records, yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's so stupid. It's hilarious, man.
Yeah.
The auditions that he, portion or whatever. It's like the best part of any competition show is, but it's all nonsensical. The, I for me, I think that's the only part of the competition that I've watched. I don't even know if people are actually getting signed or not. I mean,
No, it's obviously
I,
not.
okay,
I think he does have some other content where he like take some of the like outstanding people and like they do like a could have been like house. It's like
okay,
what's that? What was that show on MTV? When like people in it, like content creators in like one house type of thing. But that's a lot most. That's an unserious thing. Like the big things when he goes around. The fact that he does it, I know you're talking about it, but the fact that he's been able to like build up to the scale where he can go like to city and like do that,
right,
he actually
right,
deserves like a lot of credit.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
I don't know if you actually
Yeah,
like retained, but did you see? You see the one where it's like the a couple like a few little boys and like one of their names like Killer and one name's like Murder.
I don't think so. I don't know if I saw that.
Oh man, it was so stupid.
Yeah, it is. That is literally like the lowest of lowbrow content. But I mean, Ghost, have you seen any of it? Because I feel like you would die laughing at.
Everybody needs
I've
to see
seen
it.
like I don't actively like go out and like watch the full episodes, but I've seen like random clips that could have been record stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
And I mean it for the most part like it looks kind of funny, but it seems like it's a bit like the shtick is a bit repetitive, but maybe I'm not like if I watch like the full episodes I
yeah,
get more enjoyment out of it. But I mean yeah, he is funny.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
It's.
just
I
find it
mean,
hilarious that for the second straight year your top content creators, the most lowbrow stuff. Because last year was the friggin' pop the balloon
forgot about that.
bullshit.
Oh my god.
God.
Yep, yep, yep. That's true.
Yeah, West is always like
Um,
something. West is always like something serious.
What happened last year?
Last year
We were just talking about how less.
you had Johnny Cole Dixon.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
No lab report required. I guess not serious.
Damn.
Some of these people might be like lighthearted, but and then the previous year you had Benjamin McCovey, hardcore literature podcast.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's really what I
Damn.
consume. The
And then the
majority of what I
contrast.
consume shit is quite
I like it. I like
yeah.
diversity.
yeah.
But my bad. Do you have anything else, Case?
No, no, that was pretty much it. One other thing I'll say, I would be surprised if this if he doesn't end up in movies at some point because I
He's
feel like he
in
could.
at least one movie.
He's definitely
Is he?
done some movies. Not
Yeah,
anything like not anything like
there
the
was a
top tier.
was like a church choir movie.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah, it
movie with.
was
I think that was a
the
movie with
premise with
Chloe Bailey as well.
exactly. It was absolutely ridiculous. It was nonsense. But no, yeah, I think he was pretty funny. What else?
It kind of
Gotcha.
But
sucks.
yeah, he's gonna be in more.
We always want like folks to be on, like the biggest level and do movies, but salute to Kevin Hart. When you get bigger, then you start doing like those type of movies. Like Kevin Hart and The Rock are both cops trying to figure out a murder mystery.
Actually, honorable mention: Kevin Hart and Wesley Snipes in True Story. But that was it wasn't this year. It was a few years ago. But a movie called or not a movie, but a miniseries called True Story. That was actually
Hmm.
solid. I feel like he's been in stuff that's actually pretty solid. But yeah, he does do the family comedy type joints too.
Fair enough. Moving on, so we can wrap this thing up soon. Obviously, we're no like travel influencers that throw our kids off a cliff. Throwback, but we do a little traveling here and there where we can. What if any were y'all favorite travel destinations for 2025?
Yeah,
Put that name back there. No, you
this
can
one
you
out.
can we gotta know who was it. Put it back.
What do you mean?
No, he's
We don't we blank it out? I mean, I can add my name, but I don't see the point. Like I thought, whatever.
Cause it's shame. Yeah, you gotta know who didn't do enough
All right,
traveling.
so why don't we got y'all's names up
I didn't.
here?
I don't know who did that. I don't. I don't know. You're not supposed to
I
put other
just
names.
copied the first
I just
bar
did
that
it
you
because
put
that's what we've
across.
done literally every year. But
That's not what
whatever.
we did for. Go check out last year. What are you on about? Just capping out for no reason.
What? Uh,
All right, I guess we did.
he's not wrong.
I guess so.
He didn't go anywhere.
No,
Damn.
I did not.
That
You
means you
trying to
gotta try
rub it
your.
in? What is
That means you gotta try your darndest to travel. Wait, didn't y'all go to Maine?
No, that was
That
just
was
me.
last year. I mean, we went to Maine to see the concert, Wolverine concert, but that was last year, and that wasn't really a vacation.
It's not a vacation. It's a travel
that?
destination.
It doesn't say vacation.
Oh my god!
If that
Well,
happened
the
last year, why were
intent.
you
I
blank?
know
If that was
the.
last year, then why would you left it blank last year?
Because it's not a travel. We went
Do
for
you live in
one
Maine?
single night for about 2 hours to see a concert. That doesn't count as a travel destination, in my opinion.
We're not about to get into like what is the parameter for travel destination, but in my mind, if you go to a
Oh
different,
my
mine's
god.
mine's was the
Okay,
one
so
that.
I guess I could say my travel destination was Massachusetts because I've been to places in Massachusetts.
All
You
right.
obviously it has to be outside of your state.
Oh, I drove in through Massachusetts to Connecticut or something to Rhode Island, so I guess that would count, right? Like, come
All
on.
right.
If
This
you
is
went to a
silly.
place in Rhode Island, I would put it. Or are you joking? No.
Ghost, you can be a little bit more liberal if you went somewhere you
Oh God.
enjoyed and it wasn't for a long time. If not,
Well,
I
the
guess you could leave
answer,
it.
even in
But
that case, is a no. So yeah.
okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Fair enough. For me speaking, and mine was a 1 day event. I'm actually probably gonna do a repeat of it this year. But I was actually looking at my pictures slash Rolodex. Um, you gotta put the month. What do we do in the press? Just put the place. Yeah. Um. Um. What am I gonna say? I was looking through my like pictures of like places I went to last year. No, it wasn't anything extensive. It was just kind of really all up and down the East Coast, Philly, like I said, trip to New York, Atlanta, DC. But they were definitely memorable. Definitely thoroughly enjoyed. Um, Memories that I'll look back on and I'll appreciate. And I think that one in particular was dope because it was kind of in the most it was like tamest terms. It was like it kind of had like a movie aesthetic. In the sense, I believe it was like snowing, but like it's like New York doesn't stop or sleep, so everybody was outside rocking and rolling, and it was like it just You'd have to kind of see the pictures slash I've been there to kind of get that vibe. But yeah, that was a dope night with my significant other. I went to a restaurant that I would have never gone to or been to before. That was a dope experience. Went to this dessert spot afterwards. Just walking around in like a New York snowy winter vibe. It was interesting. Um, and yeah, one that was so dope. We're gonna try to not recreate it, but kind of have a part two. So yeah, that was definitely my favorite. That trip has holds my favorite memory, so that's why I'd have to give it my favorite trip of the 2025.
Nice. For me, it's kind of a strange one. Um, I ended up going to Normandy for
Already,
work.
like World War II type
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly. And um, that's not how you spell cemetery. Um, and and it was actually pretty intense. Like it was it was um so we went to a couple of beaches and we saw like the big guns that were mounted on the beaches. And then we went to the cemetery at Colville, which they had a little installation where all the with like a whole bunch of stuff about World War II and what went down, and it was kind of like a mini museum thing. But yeah, actually just like being there, seeing the beaches and connecting the history to the site, even though I'm not really a history buff like that, it was actually pretty impactful. And just knowing the way that the U.S. showed up and whatever, and it all it all kind of clicked. And I think it's just part of the idea that when you're actually at a historical site and you get the dose of history at the same time, especially when it's farther removed from your country and you're thinking about your home country. It's a weird sense, even though I'm not like never been some patriotic guy or whatever. It I think it is a cool place that Americans should visit if they have the chance. Um, yeah, it was a cool trip. Plus, Normandy, they have some specialties, some food specialties, some desserts and stuff. Cider, they have apple cider. They're known for their apple cider, for their certain pies and desserts and things like that. So it was cool to be able to check it out. And yeah, definitely a cool trip.
That's sick.
Nice. Um, then yeah, so mine is going to be the main trip that was briefly mentioned. Um, went up to I don't remember the city in Maine, but it wasn't far over the border from
There's some
or
places.
too
Oh
far
yeah.
from Massachusetts.
It wasn't
It's close to Kittery, kind of close to Kittery, but not Kittery. Um, yeah, we rented a cab. I mean, yeah, rented a cabin for long weekend. I think it was like Friday through Monday. Um, stayed with 7 other friends. Um, and stuff we got into was basically just exploring the area, um, going to the beach, uh, going out to eat, like things like that. Very chill trip. Um, yeah, I mean, not too much to say. Did a lot of swimming, enjoyable.
It was in the summer.
Yeah, that was in the summer.
Sick.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, just like the year is closed, we close out these categories with our favorite event. I think typically that's in the form of a show that we've attended. But that could also look like a play. I, I guess a more local concert or a more local movie. Maybe you go to what call it, driving. But yeah,
Uh,
what was y'all favorite event that y'all attended in 2025?
Unfortunately, I don't think there's anything that I attended that would qualify. So gonna have to gray that one out as well. Hopefully next year I can do some more stuff, but that was really,
That's messed up, Ghost.
yeah, it was really
No,
Oh
no,
yeah, it
year
is
for
messed
me.
up.
that's messed up because you're
No, that's
forgetting
messed up.
something.
Yeah, you are. That's crazy.
If we're trying to talk about, would that count? Are we talking about the get together at that cookout
Don't count.
at y'all spot?
Of course
I
it
mean,
counts. It's an
I
event.
I mean the way it's framed, I thought this was like supposed to be like a music thing, music event, but um,
He
I just
just
outlined
I
a
yeah.
non-musical type of. Whatever.
All right,
Regardless,
yeah. If that counts, then I guess yeah, that would
You
be.
guess. No, I'm just sure. I'm just messing with you, but yeah, I do think it counts if you are so inclined to consider it.
Which is, I think that might be the only thing that really could qualify. It's not a good
You
year.
had another that I can think of too, but we're not
What would that be?
we also got together for Quest. I mean, for significant others.
Oh,
Um,
uh, yeah, I guess yeah. By those definitions, I think that it counts. I just wasn't in my mind. It doesn't. I don't want to say it doesn't count, but it was different. But yeah, I guess yeah, that would also be a qualifying event. So sure. I guess it wasn't completely. There was nothing I came there, so let's get at least.
regardless,
You want
for
to
me,
say a few
um,
words?
for me, there are definitely a couple of like larger events that I've been to. Obviously, I've just by proximity been to some musicals. I've been to, I went to a dope little show. That my homeboy T Swan, Super T Swan, the 4 and 3's legend, show. So yeah, there were definitely some dope little outings throughout the year. But I was kind of again I kind of for some of the categories I just kind of go back at my pictures and kind of see what really um like had a lasting memory to me, something that I will hold on forever. And it's kind of weird, but and there's no particular one, so I'm just kind of keep it vague. But my brother's wrestling meets. What am I typing that? I was like, what the hell? Wrestling meets slash matches. One because it's just so dope to see someone that you love and are related to um, continue to excel and grow better in something athletic. Obviously, I'm no sports dad or uncle yet, but I definitely understand that vibe when it's like, no, obviously it's not replicable to wrestling, but when it's that fourth quarter and your little one is up and they're trying their hardest to get that W, it really does pull at your heartstrings and everything kind of just stops and feels like a movie, like with freaking Luck of the Irish, that last shot. Um,
it's crazy.
so yeah, it's just dope that I've been able to experience those events with them. Obviously they have their coaches, but give them a little game and what they could do. And I kind of don't like being attached to sentimental stuff, but I'll just be watching those matches and be like, dang, one, I kind of used to be me to an extent, but two, it's just like you kind of compels you to like get back into that or do something to that or in that vein. So it's kind of weird how that's one of the few things in life that can kind of move me in that direction. But yeah, it's kind of more sentimental and personal. But that's what I would describe as one of the. And again, there probably is one big one. There actually tournaments at a community college that we went to. Um, and they host some relatively decently sized tournaments. He's had some success at going to those tournaments. But any honestly match where he's um, had success. Man, there was a couple matches where he really clutched it out. But I'm not here to I'm not here to talk about my little brothers all day and night. Yeah, that's definitely my favorite events from 2025.
Okay. Uh, for me, I went to at least no two weddings last year, and one was probably more sentimental because we're closer to one of them, one couple. But the other one was a friend of my wife, and it was in Vichy, so it was to the east of where we are. And Vichy it has some history too. But it was a cool little town, or a cool city, I should say. The setup was cool. So in addition to the wedding actually going really well, um, it was also interesting to explore the city at the same time a little bit, not much, but just kind of walk around and stuff. So, um, yeah, I would say between those two weddings, it's the events we went to spend time with the wife.
Nice. Were they large weddings, like bigger than I say bigger than yours? That's really the only frame of reference I have, recent frame of
Yeah,
reference I have. But
they were both bigger, but I would say they weren't huge. The halls were decent sizes. Uh, but yeah, maybe like double or
Always
more
remember, and this is no hate. This
the
is
number of
obviously no
people.
hating thing, and maybe it might be different other places around the world. But data shows that larger weddings tend to have a higher chance of ending separation, or the result being separation.
I have heard that. But yeah,
I also heard the average wedding costs in the US in 2024 was 32,000, which
it's just
is
ridiculous.
baffling to me. I
32,000
yeah,
is
I
that?
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
So
between
yeah,
yeah.
that's
30,
retarded.
between 30 to 50,000.
Jesus
Absolutely
fucking
ridiculous.
Christ, bro! Like, shit, I'll whoa, man.
Yeah, that put things into perspective for me. So
Absolutely ridiculous.
The main cost, and as someone that's like in some early stages of planning, the main cost tends to be like the venue, but then you keep stacking all the things that you want within that. And obviously, you probably know better than us, Wes,
yeah.
but all the things that you want, like in the venue or in preparation for that. Obviously, the food's a big thing. Make sure there's the decorations. Make sure that the venue puts out the proper accommodation. So it gets
Mhm.
up there if you let it get away.
All I say
This
the
is
main thing is the venue, the food. Actually, yeah, no, venue, food, and photography. Everything else is kind of just a
photography, man.
backseat.
You can
Yeah,
find a friend that likes taking photos,
no,
and I,
no.
I'm kind of being facetious because I know not to. I'm
You
not trying
can't
to bash on
risk
wedding photographers because I know there's like a standard and they like edit photos and stuff. But
you can't risk the photos coming out horribly. Like that's it's.
I
I mean, if
I
what
guess
to have
And
like
you got
the
the
preserved
friend is in a
memory,
bad the friend
yeah,
mate takes the bad photos.
or he loses the
All right.
memory. I don't know.
Before we get into a
It's
whole
not.
wedding diatribe, what's your favorite event for 2025 Ace?
Yep. So my favorite is going to be um my uncle slash me and Wes uncle's 20th anniversary celebration in Atlanta. Uh anniversary. Um yeah, it was just fire. It was a lot of family
I might need a
that
bit more context.
hmm? uh, uncle. Oh yeah. Not mine. uh yeah, a lot of family that I did not expect to see. Um I even got to bunk with one of Quest brothers that I don't see very often. So it's good, real good catching up with him. Um, and yeah, it was just a great time. It was basically 2 nights of activity, technically three, but um, the Saturday night of that weekend, there was an event at our uncle's new house, newly built, I believe,
Yeah,
last year. Um, I mean, extremely nice house in a very
probably one of the
bougie part of
best houses
Atlanta.
I've ever been in.
Yeah. And then so that was dope. And then yeah, the second night was um a like the main event type, more official event in the hotel that most of the family was staying at in the reception area. So um but yeah, it was just overall great time. Wish Wes and Wes could have been there, um but yeah, either way.
Yes, true indeed. And with that, if you blow it out a bit, Ghosts, we have our collections, our data. This is locked in. We don't not literally locked in. You can probably go, you could technically go in at any time. Although Excel sheets have a lock-in feature, but these are our responses for our favorite um, albums, movies, artists, so on and so forth. Throughout 2025. Again, I super appreciate y'all really thinking about and just plugging in these things. Again, if nothing else, I am super appreciative of data, and I think I speak for myself, but I think it'll be interesting for all of us to go back and look at some of these responses. As we continue to do this and as we continue to just get older. And again, probably the least takeaway is definitely, while these probably are all songs, albums, so on and so forth that we've talked about at some point throughout the year. If not, definitely going to go back and make sure I've consumed all these songs and probably albums as well. So yeah, we just going to keep plugging on and pushing on as it pertains to our favorites throughout the year and seeing how they change. I guess doing a quick look back, we've been talking about some of the ways it's changed while we've been going through it. But just go to 2024. Let's just look at the last year's difference. As far as are there any repeats I'll just stick to albums. You had a Brittany Howard, Nala Shepard, Pitt Millett.
Oh no,
Lupe,
was a repeat last year and this year. Oh, last
I
year was
had
a collab.
Dochi and Lupe. AC had Midwife, Julie, Chelsea, Winter,
There again.
and Wes Espino. Adult Jazz. I don't remember that. Ka, Samira Joy. So I guess no artist had a back to
Saint
back
Seneca.
album.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
no
there were.
album, but Saint Seneca had a song, a single.
Mm.
I think Winter was this year too, Ace, right?
Not an
Okay.
album,
Oh,
just a song.
okay.
Favorite artists of my favorite artist last year was The Weeknd. I don't remember that. You know what's crazy? I think I
Of
literally
course.
said because they're probably gonna have a dope album in 2025. Yeah, and
That's
they did.
hilarious.
And wow, last year we all had the
Oh
same favorite
wow,
movie
yeah.
between the three of us.
That's
And then
crazy.
Did you
was
not watch Dune
some
2? Wes?
Wes, please
That's
tell me you watched it by now.
crazy.
That's
Wow.
insane. That's
dog.
insane.
Wes' favorite movie depends on whether he watches the same movie as us. That's crazy.
I
Dog.
think I think for 2026 we might have to watch the movie together
Yeah.
on stream.
Make sure Wes
A lot of
watches
these
it
movies
this
we never
time.
watched it in the theater, so I don't know about that one. Let's see. Last year I
Gonna be
had
the Odyssey.
probably. It's gonna be us, the Odyssey, and you were gonna be some. I don't know. Unless you had a manga, same
The woman
manga.
who got shot in the
Oh no, you
foot,
had a manga.
part 2.
YouTube series, book, unseen realm, manga. For how many years later, like you mentioned, Athletic Academy, The Lady of Lore. There's such a dope YouTube channel. I still watch all their videos when I can. Johnny Cole Dixon and Arnett. Last year again, didn't travel. I went to DR, California for UACE, and the Chateau D. Ooh, I don't know,
Versailles.
somewhere in that region. And for the favorite event, it was we do put the see, this is why we look back. We go back and update with the month that you went to the event.
Jeez. Okay.
Oh, I don't know. It's like July.
Oh, for the event.
I have.
I have to check my calendar.
Look at
Oh,
you
no,
guys
no.
struggling.
So I think this was.
Favorite event, but you can't remember the month. I'm not even the day, the month.
I think this was September. Am I correct?
All the same. While y'all are plugging that in. So yeah. And definitely for any and all listeners, definitely hope you keep track of your favorites for the year. I think it's still for anybody just to kind of keep a running list of your favorites throughout the year. But moving right along, let me switch the screens so we can close this out soon.
Oh no, that was August, right at the end of August.
Nope.
It's called
Nope. There. Oh, look a bit frozen. Dang, OBS is probably crashing because we've been streaming for so long. Anyway, if you can hear us, then just pay attention to that. Okay, before we wrap it up, just like actually before we get to the looking forward to, one last thing we like to think about as pertains to the previous year, highlights and lowlights. Highlights obviously being those dope event slash memories. It can even be akin to what our favorite event slash trip was, but your favorite memories throughout the year. Obviously, throughout 365 days, a lot can happen, and a lot can be forgotten or remembered when you bump into that niche thing that reminds you of that event or memory. But hope, but this podcast is one way we can record and keep those things on record. And also the low lights. Obviously, no one likes negativity, but we can't just Euro step past some of the things that was a bit somber. And they don't have to be like freaking death always, but something just made us a bit somber or was we believe was unfortunate that happened throughout the year. We'll just go around, but I'll start off real quick. As far as highlights, where's the highlight? It's kind of a cop out, but it's not cop out, but kind of going along with some of the trips that I mentioned, and just the amount of time that I was not amount the more so the amount the quality of time that I was able to spend with my significant other. Um, obviously traveling always is pleasant, and obviously is definitely going to be memory building. But even just like at home in inner city, around family, the outings that we have with one another. Um, last in 2025, they were doing a lot of studying for school and tests, so they were at home a lot, and kind of had that, your with your college dorm buddies. So I appreciated that time and just being able to spend with them, and I would also kind of say it's just family in general. Um, uh, Whether it was like somebody's born day or a family outing, family dinner. Those were what I would describe as my highlights of 2025. Because all in all, 2025 wasn't anything like nobody died or nobody was born, so it's definitely gonna be appreciating the time that you have with the folks that you have in your life. And as far as low lights, um, actually you kind of mentioned it, Ace, but I would say kind of the suckiest part of the year was actually not being able to attend that uh, my uncle's anniversary, which kind of kind of amounted or it manifested in like a family reunion from all the pictures and videos that
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
seen. So that definitely was probably the suckiest part. Um, but definitely a reminder that and it puts the battery in one's back to you do what you got to do so you can be available for those type of events because I'm a person. I don't live life with regrets. I don't have any regrets. But when I think about that, I definitely don't feel the greatest that I wasn't in attendance. So that's it for me. Um, what about you, Ace? Any highlights? Any lowlights?
Yeah. I would kind of just have to say like highlights overall is like the fact that I spent so much time with friends this year. Like there were actually a lot of events that I could have put on here, just outings with friends. Um so that was definitely like a big shift, and I think part of it was the main trip, like that I felt like that trip got me to be closer with the other people that I kind of can just consider like friends of a friend, as opposed to my own friends in their own right. So, yeah, I spent a lot more time with just different people this year, doing different outings and stuff like that. So, that would be my like general just highlight for the year. Prioritizing that, and then low light. Um, I would say like seeing our grandmother, her struggles with dementia this year. She's she has her good days and her bad days, but it's just like when you see a relative and they're in a state where you just can't do anything to help, it can be tough. So glad to still be able to go see her and go, be with her. But yes, and at the same time be a bit of a struggle. So that would be my little light.
Very much so. I know the law can hit you in the gut if you're not prepared for it, but gotta go through it. Ghost highlights, lowlights for this year, for 2025. Sorry.
Um, highlights. Uh, I saw some family members I hadn't seen in a minute. Um, a couple of which has gotten engaged, cousins. So, congrats to them. Uh, uh, I guess maintaining decent enough health and not being in like a really bad physical situation. Uh, but yeah, I mean, things could be worse, but beyond that, it's been like pretty comfortably the worst year of my life.
Yeesh.
So it can only go up from here in
Yeah,
theory.
that's
But
what I was about to say. I was about to say the same thing.
yeah, because I had multiple grandmothers pass, uh, and stuff personally that I will get into that have not been fun to deal with. So yeah, it's again low wellness. It can only get, or it can't get worse. So yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Makes sense. That's crazy how like by and large, unless someone throws the curveball unanimously, I feel as if highlights are always going to be in some form or fashion, to do with like being around loved ones, being around dope people in your life. Um, from my experience and what it sounds like y'all can relate to as well. But last but not least, Wes, what would you say your highlights, lowlights for 2025?
I'm gonna buck the trend and start with the lowlights because I don't want to end on that. But
Oh,
yeah, I
sure.
mean the my family's y'all family is in Quest, so I'll repeat that. My grandmother plus missing the family reunion anniversary event. Plus, in general, not being, I didn't visit the US in 2025, so I am kind of missing seeing people, being around. So, uh, yeah, I would say those were the low lights. Um, yeah. Beyond that, highlights, uh, spending time with the wife. We did go not far, but we did do a little bit of travel within the country, not too far, like 4 hours out. At the beginning of the year, then we spend a lot of time on a regular basis together, which is always good. Um, like I said, the marriages, the weddings that we went to, uh, those were both good. Spending some time with her friends who become my friends, it's also great. Uh, traveling for work a little bit, actually has been good. Um, yeah, can't really complain too much. 2025 was a solid year for me. Room for improvement for sure. But a solid year.
That's actually a really good way to describe it. Definitely room for improvement on a couple of different aspects. But again, kind of sucks. Well, it's dope when we talk about the highlights, but kind of sucks when we go through some of the lowlights. But even on that, and I appreciate you guys. Just, no one can't say we're not transparent. Um, but yeah, last but not least, we talked about 2025. At, you could argue at nauseum. Let's kind of wrap it up with what, if anything, are we looking forward for 2026? We're not, or I'll speak for myself, I'm not one that's big on or emphasizes New Year's resolutions. I think if you want to get something done, get it done ASAP. But I think we abide by a calendar year to some degree. And there are typically things that within a year that we want to do or see actualized or manifested in some realm. So yeah, whether it's vague, specific, whether it's a detailed plan and you're just waiting for that date and time, or whether it's something that you have a general idea of. What, if anything, are y'all looking forward for 2026? Real quick, I'll just say, mine's are kind of corny. At least I think so. But I am, relatively big on working out, and I want to continue to, words will be healthy and pursue that. Obviously, I'm not interested in like. I'm always gonna have my relatively build. I'm always gonna have my relative, um, you know, ranges of what I can lift, run, bench, whatever the case may be. But one thing I really have thought about the previous times and will continue to think about is when it comes to like working out, it's like one of the things where like in life I truly feel as if I have pretty much complete control over. Like as if I say I want to get to a point where I can lift this, or I want to get to a point where I can run X miles without stopping, I've just been able to complete that with some time and dedication and work. So that's really, you know, it's like a saying. It's something I always promote. Is like really focus on things that you have control over. So, and we're kind of talking about earlier, but again, um, uh, working out gains definitely something I want to continue, and just continue to improve. Like, do some. Don't want to go crazy, but I do want to get a couple more plates on that bar. And also, one thing I'm looking forward to is I think I talked about it in the past, but uh, I want to get into a. it kind of sounds corny to say a sports league, but I think I finally found the activity that I want to get into that kind of would fulfill that like competitive drive I tend to have sometimes. The only reason why I'm not being more specific at this point in time because it doesn't. It's kind of hard finding like that activity in my immediate area, so I might have to do a little searching. I might have to go a little bit of a distance to find it. But when I do, and that's one of my big. That's one thing I'm planning for this year. So when I do, um, if I got to put the if, but if and when I do, I will come on here immediately and tell y'all, and hopefully it's something that I can get into as soon as possible. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward for 2026. Outside of the general, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh world competition, spending time in my life, um, continuing to develop our plan as far as our wedding ceremony and also buying a home. Hopefully that's in the near future, semi near future. But yeah, but those are the main two. The first two things I mentioned are like the main things that like have feels like I have more of a control over. Sorry for the lengthiness, but what about y'all? What are y'all looking forward to? Long term, short term.
I'll go first or second again. Um, I guess I haven't thought about this too much. I don't really necessarily want to say something that I have not been keeping up with. So like getting back into working out, I'll avoid saying that and just do it. But the one thing that I'm considering and probably will make time for is we talked about the whole meditation thing. I found that there's actually um a location in uh not too far um from where I live um that does like retreats. So um I may prioritize trying to do a maybe a week-long retreat or something at this place. Um and yeah, it would mainly be focused on exactly the type of thing um and I mean mindfulness in plain English um outlines and or is about. So I'll put that on um as my looking forward to. I think I'm definitely gonna prioritize that. Later in the year though. Right now I'm super swamped with work.
The usual. Fair enough. Makes sense. Don't go too crazy, or else you end up opening your third eye or whatever they used to say.
Yeah, I don't know if that's part of the stuff that I've been learning, but who's
Um,
next?
I'll go. For me, I would say uh, one weirdly is being a little bit more organized, a little bit more um, organized with my goals and actually plotting them out onto a calendar again and being more dedicated so that I can chip away at them. I've tried to tried to actually come up with some goals for the year, and yeah, I want to be more intentional with hitting them. So I'm gonna try to continue to put them down and to really plot it out so I can chip away at them more effectively. But I don't want to get into the details of what some of them are. But besides that, I always am trying to read more, um, play more guitar, things like this. I have the goal, so I'm working through Shakespeare. I've been working through Shakespeare for the past year and change. That's going well. Working through Dostoevsky, that's going well. Milton, going well. I'm not sure I'm going to read too much more Milton because there's a lot of political stuff, so I'm not that interested in. But but his poetry is good and everything like that. So and yeah, yeah, I think trying to read the entire corpus of certain authors that I'm really interested in is part of uh part of my goals, my reading goals, but not necessarily exclusive to the year. Um, and then yeah, as far as guitar, just trying to improve. I don't know if I'll be able to find people to play with this year, but that could be a cool thing if I'm able to get to that point.
You have a whole
Um,
365.
but yeah, hobbies. What was that?
You have a whole 365.
A few less, but yeah. But yeah, no, I'm
Certainly.
definitely looking forward to getting into the year.
And then last but not least, what about you, Ghost? Anything we're looking forward to?
Um, yeah,
Sorry.
just getting stuff figured out, talking and listening to more music, reading more, being
Yeah,
more smart about certain things.
you gotta get back and reclaim your spot.
What spot?
I feel like for mad years he's historically just dominated as far as Spotify raps as most music consumption.
Well, if the year goes
Ace
the
had
way I want, he'll be good.
Ace had more music listened than I did by minutes last year too.
Oh
Oh,
damn!
did I?
Yeah.
Fell off, washed. Not playing. Um, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I think that about concludes it. That's all I had on the list. Um, yeah, like all years when you kind of give it a summarization, unless something like traumatic happened to you. I know there are some people that suffer like literal, um, like health issues. I think if you made it out the year healthy and you made it out the year without any traumatic events, while there's a lot happening in the world, I think that the way it was summed up was actually a way I really liked. There's definitely always room for improvement, always things that we can do better on it, and continue to strive for our goals. But as long as we're alive and in decent health, there isn't really too much to complain about. Yeah, 2025, like previous years, was crazy. There's definitely been some times where it's like things might go left, but you never. Sorry, not you never, but in the grand scheme of things, there's all gonna. You think a year will be the craziest thing, or and then the next year follows, and like day one, there's a literal leader of a country gets kidnapped. So there's always gonna be something. There's always one up. So yeah, I think just kind of conclude by saying all praises for everything that kind of came out of 2025, and we're already in 2026, but hopefully we continue to just be doper and continue to go in the direction that we desire throughout this year. Obviously, the calendar year is not too much if you actually kind of expand your horizon and kind of look outside of it. But again, it is always good to think about the things that are happening throughout the year. Kind of keep a mindfulness about what's happening and what you want to happen within your environment, within your life. But yeah, unless there's anything super significant I'm forgetting, and I'm probably forgetting a ton of stuff, I think we will say that it's not saying the last outro of 2025, but last. Think of the podcast like seasons. Like this is the end of season 2025. Yeah. Um, hope that you gained some new perspectives from all the stories that and all the things we talked about. Hope you learned a ton of stuff. Even I learned some new things when I come on this podcast. Or you just found us entertaining. If none of that happened for you, then all we have to say to you is just like the title. You want to be filled. And yeah, we'll be back.